Okay. All right, cool. We're actually live. Let me go yell at announcements. Send this message to everyone. And then I have a sound cue, because we're real now.
Do what you want, because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
There it is. Now we can stop being quiet.
Okay.
Because I can ratchet around my sound there. You can see my 2-minute warning. I actually have the timestamps. I think I might actually have the timestamps. Cool. YouTube is like, yo, you want to turn on timestamps? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's set timestamps on stuff. Okay, hello, everyone. Welcome to Portrayal. This episode, in case you can't hecking tell... it's been a minute, actually. I can say fuck. Fun fact, YouTube actually clarified just today their policy on profanity. The only limit is, once again, no big F-bomb in the first 7 seconds. And now nothing else counts. I believe some people even gotten their videos remonetized. Not that we had any problems with that, but... good to know they decided to ratchet that one back. But, this is going to be the Plunder Patrol. Now, before we get started, because this does actually affect our process here of how we do things and run stuff, I would like to let everybody know, if they don't already know, because it's been blowing up, haha, over the, weekend past couple of days. So, Wikipedia is down. They had a incident where their database was lost, and they're rebuilding it and everything. So, if you look in our video description, there is a link to their recovery effort and how you can contribute. Basically, how that works, because I did that earlier today, is they'll scan your browser's cache, your computer cache, and look for Wikipedia websites and see what you've got cached, and then you upload them to them so they know what's what. So I'm sure that over my... even though I cleared my cache out not too long ago, probably because of this series, there was a decent chunk of web pages that they skipped off me. But it's a good way for people to help out. If you're curious what happened, my understanding is it was, if anybody's familiar with this story, a load-bearing Mac Mini type situation. They had a server module that, at least to them, looked like it was using a lot of data and wasn't active, so they unplugged it. Spoilers, it was active, and it was important. And now it is toast.
Wow.
But, happens all the time in IT, apparently. However, this is going to complicate our process a little bit because Wikipedia does this wonderful thing where they had a gallery page, they had all the artworks collected, and they would actually scrape stuff like Legacy of the Duelist and Master Duel for high-res card art. The Fandom Wiki does not do this. I don't think they've updated their gallery page, process probably since Hidden Arsenals existed. So, I don't heckin' know how that's gonna go. But this does mean that for us, me transitioning to images are probably going to be a little, more timely and probably involve a couple of awkward transitions because I'm going to have to deal with, people's blow-ups and redraws on the internet. Because apparently nobody but Wikipedia is just scraping Master Duel. But, assuming that doesn't slow us down too much on that process, we will also probably be doing Dream Mirror as well. Because, Plunder Patrol is not that many cards, even though it's been out a decent number of years. I think, let's see. Ignition Assault was when? Okay, early 2020. First set of 2020. So they're about 3 years old now. Very popular among the fandom for a lot of reasons. One of which being, I believe, they're... I don't actually know how important it is to talk about that many of their spell traps. Probably the field spell and maybe some of the trap cards are good. But we should at least say all the names of their spell traps once we're done with the monsters, because with the exception of Emblem, all of them are fucking hilarious. They are all incredible, terrible puns. So we will actually, probably want to bring that up. But yeah, so Plunder, pretty popular. And actually has cleared some events. Not a broad representation, but a couple of people have taken them to tops. I believe there's even a singular regional win for Plunder, which is, saying something. And that was before the new ship even. But yeah, so very popular with the fandom because they've got this, adorable little weird aesthetic. They are just full of pun names. Even their actual name is a pun because the plunder part is pretty easy, but it's Plunder Patrol. So it's Plunder Patrol with 2 L's because, get it? Patrol and troll. Do you get it? Do you get it, matey? Yar.
That's me, mate. Whatever.
Yar.
Plunders
Ahoy.
some patrols and destroying some mirrors.
So, yeah. Plunder's very popular, but they've been held back by their extra deck limitations for quite a little bit. It seemed like Konami was very hesitant to actually, fill out the ranks of all their stuff, because they are an attribute-based deck. They're all fiends, but they have a bunch of different attributes. And for some ungodly reason, Konami just refused to, flesh them out. I believe most, if not all of the main decks are waters, but all the extra decks are a bunch of different attributes. Water Fiend, by the way, is pretty rare, so... we got some fun stuff going on. In order to explain this archetype, we have to start with the big boy, the captain. You cannot do this any other way. And of course, it's, like I said, it's freaking huge. Let me, make this, 80% smaller so I can actually...
A question, is it rarer than Earth Sea Serpent?
No, because there's, 6 of these guys at least, so... So here's the captain. Captain Blackbeard. Or rather, the way they choose to format all of the names. Blackbeard, comma, the Plunder Patrol captain. He sure is a captain. You can see the actual Plunder Patrol guys in there. These are these little gremlin, these little gobbledygoos.
Yep. They look like a fusion of kobolds and goblins.
These little bokoblins.
Yeah.
These little sneeds. And
Little
Blackbeard is the big one.
jeweled- Yeah, the jeweled spyglass. Yeah.
Yes, Axe has outed himself. He ran to get his mail.
Far, far, fidgety, you're a troll of the sea.
You need a little more rhythm on that one. That was a very short rhyme.
I was pondering on my way back.
But here's Blackbeard. He has a beard. It is black.
This is just a Yuki Boomer thing. I kind of wish that the scope that one guy was holding, the thing that looks like a dual scope, was just the ancient telescope. From that
That'd be a
spell
pretty
card.
funny reach. Yeah. Alas, it is not. Yes, you can also see a future card in there. You've got the crow, the bird.
Bird.
I think he's got an eye patch, but it's hard to tell because it could also just be a weird shadow.
Can someone say crow?
Or it could be just the...
I weirdly think his beard has grown over his eye.
Yeah, honestly,
It
the
looks a
colors
bit
are
like that.
pretty similar. It could be like that. Keep in mind, this is a little, like I said, this is a redraw blow-up because we do not have access to our normal art archive.
Oh, right, yes.
Yep. I already talked
Can we, mention how you can help fix it?
Yes. It's in the video description.
Oh, cool.
Make it the whole spiel while you're getting the mail.
Yeah. I was stalling for time. I don't really have any issues with Blackbeard's design. I think you can tell by the fact that they're just the Plunder Patrols. The patrols are just these little guys. They're just these little guys, This isn't meant to be like a very serious, realistic, sharply defined art style. They're
It's
just
more
kind
like-
of weird goblin men people.
They're like Hobbit goblins. Or the original
Question.
book.
What, is it just me, or does it look like the guy on the left and make it like hovered over for a second? Does it look like he's holding a fucking burger, a wrapped up burger in one hand?
Yeah, I think he's
Kinda.
supposed to be holding a sack of loot, but the way that the art is cut off
Yeah.
shows that it makes it look like he's holding the Hungry Burger. But yeah, no. What I wanted to point out was like these guys have all kinds of crazy aesthetics. Blackbeard is clearly like wombo comboing several things. Like he's supposed to be going for like a Viking raider, but he's got very thick, very moose-like antlers on his helmet, which is weird. And he's also got like a reverse grip pirate cutlass thing.
Yeah.
It's also not, by the way, how you
He
wear a
is-
saber. It's like
He is Yao, king of the rock.
Honestly, it reminds me of more of how like an actual like Japanese sword would be positioned. Which is
I mean, yeah,
probably-
that's the thing. It's the artist who is, because I don't believe this is a world premiere archetype. The artist drew this like he would draw a katana. You do not draw cutlasses and sabers blade up like that. That's not normally how they're hilted. Also, I just want to say, I don't know if it's this redraw, but it feels like Blackbeard's lower body, and I know it's supposed to be a down up shot, but it feels like his lower body is way shorter than his upper body. Like, look how long his arms are, and then look at how his little leggies look.
He's
I
got
think it-
dwarf proportions.
Let me see.
Kinda, yeah. I was already being like, I think his legs look a bit longer in like the animation because you actually can see his knees.
Yeah, I think
Like
he does
that.
a little wiggle. No, those parts are not foiled in the actual card art, so no, this is how his legs look. I guess he's just wearing
Oh.
really baggy pants.
Yeah. Super baggy pants.
You know, when you're the
Well-
captain, you gotta have big pants.
And a cape.
I mean, chat, I'm not gonna make any One Piece jokes. I'm not equipped for that, so.
Insert layman One Piece joke here.
But yeah, aesthetically, I think this gives you all you need to know about this archetype. So, even though he is a Link monster, he is the extra deck monster, Blackbeard is pretty fundamental to how this deck works, so we have to talk about him first. He is a Link 2. He is a Water Fiend, like all the rest of the main deck boys. 1600 attack. Has, bottom corner arrows. He is 2 monsters, including a Plunder Patrol monster, so not entirely archetype locked. Quick effect. Target 1 effect monster you control. Special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard, and if you do, equip that target to it. Then draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Blackbeard Plunder Patrol Captain once per turn. So how this works is, we'll talk about them in a second, because you got to, set up the guys to get to there. But there are boats in the extra deck. You can special summon them with Blackbeard's effect without having to go through all of their rigmarole, which is pretty difficult for most of them to actually hard summon them. I don't even know. Like, one of them's a fusion. I don't remember if these guys even have a fusion spell. If they do, nobody used it for its fusion effect. But yeah, so normally you just cheat them out of the extra deck with Blackbeard, and you notice the primary thing. The ones that you can cheat out must be the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or has in their graveyard. While there are ways to trick this out, for the most part, this deck is highly reliant on graveyard setup and what your opponent is playing. It's similar to Invoked in that way, and I think actually there were probably some Invoked Plunder builds. I would argue that a similar effect is the Bestials, where the Bestials are unlimited DD Crows if you have your opponent is playing light or darks, because they are chaos type monsters, but also can use your opponent's graveyard. For spoilers, the 2 ships they started with were Fire and Dark. I believe that was the ones, actually. Let me double check the list. Yeah, it was Bran and Moark. So this deck's popularity and ability to pop off and win lots of matchups is very highly dependent on the meta. If your opponent ends up playing an attribute that you don't have, you have a lot more of a limited amount of plays you can do, because you need to set up the right cards to, fake out your deck and get the right boys on board. Obviously, light and dark are the most common attributes So the dark ship and then the light ship was the first one they added are usually pretty good. But there's still a lot of wiggle room in that, so you got to be careful about these things. He also draws you a card when you do it, so that's pretty good. And by the way, the target you most often have for Blackbeard is himself, because he is a plunder monster. So it's a quick effect. You can just be like, yeah, boat, you see? And the act of equipping things to things is very central to the Plunder Patrol style. Basically, the idea is the plunders are the crew, and the ships, the patrol ships they're called, are the ships. So you crew the ships with the crew. Did you get it? Yu-Gi-Oh!
I've never seen this people talk about this. I always enjoy how every archetype has a way to make it feel like it's actually the narrative that it's going for.
Yes, that is something that people routinely say they really like about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that every archetype, at least when Konami is trying and not just printing 4 more copies of Skill Drain, especially, let me just say, I watched that video of MBTs again recently. I also agree with him, and I don't know why Konami keeps printing Skill Drains, because these motherfuckers keep printing regular Skill Drain. Hold on, I have a mention in the server. What the fuck? Whomst.
What? I don't think so. It doesn't get it.
Tyranny posted upon them today.
I'm on stream? I can't believe you've done this.
I'm actually scrolling through. Where is it? I can see this.
It's at the bottom of Let's Talk.
It's in Let's Talk.
But,
though you just signed a Discord, so you might not be caught up.
But,
I did a freaking @ here, guys. I couldn't be more unsubtle than what I'm doing right now. Anyway.
But the one bit I was trying... never mind.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know why Konami keeps printing MBT's videos, or as MBT's video said, with Skill Drains, when the motherfuckers keep reprinting regular Skill Drain. It's @ 3, and they keep putting it in things. You need to give decks more copies of Skill Drain. They can already play Skill Drain, which is the best version of Skill Drain.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Now, if you guys actually, were cool and banned Skill Drain, or put it to like 1 because you're insufferable, then we could talk about, giving in-archetype angles to if decks actually wanted to play Skill Drain type effects, but yeah.
I feel like the one that works is Ice Shade, but that's because the deck's already kind of slow, so having where you do a multi-part setup to do like a one-sided Skill Drain is fine, because you're playing Ice Shades anyway.
Not that I actually remember what the fuck Ice Shade is supposed to do, but I believe it is actually supposed to be that kind of slow control type deck.
As someone who recently came across Ice Shade and went, what the fuck is this? Yes, they lock you out of doing a lot of things to just be like, here's my big ass monster in defense mode. Fuck you.
They're trying to freeze you alive.
And attack the, yes.
They have a literal freeze strategy, like Ice Barriers, but probably better.
Yes. Those things are better than Ice Barriers. It's why, I feel like when I always talk about Magical Musket, it feels like it's basically you're loading bullets into a gun. Yeah. Because that is kind of how you have your gunslingers and the spells are your bullets.
Yeah, they're called, Magical Musket. They are the weapons you shoot, because you can freeload them. Labyrinth isn't, as defined, but their thing is, it's all traps and welcoming you, so it's like, hey, welcome to my labyrinth. Also, you died.
It's a manor. It's manor, and it's a housing staff, and then just all the various traps of them trying to keep you stuck there forever.
So there's a lot of fun to be had, and we might even actually talk about, if we have enough time, Versus Soul at the end, because Konami is. I don't remember what the next deck build pack is called, but Konami is killing it with all 3 of those archetypes in terms of just raw design.
I think it's called Loyal Survivors.
No. That's the one that's not announced yet. It starts with a D. I remember the set code.
I would say Versus is such a very good example of a archetype that feels very much what it's supposed to be.
It was... No, there's a whole lot of crap. Oh, is it Wild Survivors? Because it's GWWS? That might be it. I thought it wasn't that. I thought it had a different name, but yeah. But, Transcend Drake is... Transcend Drake is going to be our token meta archetype because it's just Dinos go burr. Dinos big. Dinos destroy.
I thought it was, not the best, but I guess it was.
No, you are wrong. Anybody who told you Transcend Drake is not going... Because Axe, here's the thing. Dino is already a really good deck, and they're letting you play 3 Lithosogem now, and then they're also like, hey, do you want to play big fucking ass dinos?
Also, the Transcend Drake is just, hey, let's add more support to Lost World because doesn't like Lost World.
Well, yeah, it's not necessarily more support for Lost World. It's just they are acknowledging dinosaurs have a destruction theme, which a lot of dinosaur cards do.
To correct what I remember is like the source. I don't remember the exact source of, but I always heard people talking about it. It's like it empathizes the method of a dino that was not supposedly good currently. So I didn't know. Besides the Lithosogem being
yes, the dinosaurs are not a meta deck right now because their playstyle hasn't gone anywhere other than the ban list in a couple of years. But that's the thing. Transcend Drake is printing 12 new cards. Which are all generic Dino Lock, so...
I always took it as the way people talked about it, at least I think, they actually thought news stuff about dinos, was they talked about it as... Drake was like the playstyle of dinos that weren't actually relatively good until maybe now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even... Well, Axe himself says he can't even remember the source, so... I don't guarantee he's remembering it exactly.
I couldn't pause what Axe was saying.
But...
It's the playstyle of dino that's not supposedly good, that it's actually supporting.
I mean, like I said, that may be good, not right now, but from what I understand and have gotten my ass kicked by Dino decks, no. Just blow up all your own cards so you can summon whatever the fuck you like is already what Dino did.
Yes.
Yep.
I think they were mostly hamstrung by, I believe Misk got limited at one point.
Yeah.
It might still be limited.
Mostly because they were, I think, the top deck for 1 year.
Yeah.
You ever hit Soul Eating?
But they weren't
No, I don't think they ever got that
zero.
over here. No, they weren't tier 0. They were a very decent deck during the weird... During the weird format of, COVID era. COVID format. The Xyz might not be played, that's true. But, yeah, almost all of them because they're all, crazy high pluses in a deck that already has crazy good pluses. And they're reprinting all the good shit, like the Evolzar Xyz and shit. So, yeah, they're going to be the token meta deck. Hopefully, Konami does the nice thing and, keeps the rarity down on the other 2 archetypes to compensate. But they probably won't, so you'll probably be chasing fucking Nouvelle secret rares and shit. And the exact 2 women characters in Versus Soul will be, secret rares and collectors because, of course, they will for no fucking reason.
But I guess one just kind of
I don't think. No. Who's the 3rd woman?
Let's see.
The dragon?
Let's see. I remember there's the Tiger Lady. There's Dr. Madlove. I remember the 3rd one.
Yeah, it's not because I believe the warrior is very clearly male. And then there's a giant robot and a dragon man and a pile of goop.
Right. There was only 6. I thought there was more.
Yeah, there's only 6 monsters right now. It's a very limited roster for a fighting game. Anyway, you've been staring at a white screen for a while, chat. Here's Black Eyes.
Yeah.
Sorry, it does take me a little bit longer to cycle everybody in. Okay. This is Black Eyes, the Plunder Patrol Sea Guide. I don't know why they went necessarily for Sea Guide. I'll have to double check when we get to Whitebeard, though that'll be way later. If how the original Japanese was, because in Japanese this is Plundrol Blackwing the Pilot. So I don't know what that drop there was. Did they want to make sure to do Sea Guide? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some interesting naming conventions to make all the puns and shit work. Actually, I think my music's a little soft. Let me dial it up a little. So this is our first main deck monster we're looking at. It's not their first main deck monster. This was actually in Lightning Overdrive. So this was their first attempt to give them extra support. But you've already seen Blackbeard, so we're just going to go... There's literally 5 of these guys in the main deck. We're just going to go down the line. Art-wise, I mean, you can see the boats. That's cool. I think this is specifically Moerk, because it's the dark one. But you can see some of their boats. And you can see the bird himself. You could see the bird on Blackbeard.
Bird up.
I feel a little weird about Mr. Black Eyes' proportions. I feel like the artist has drawn his talons like little hands. but they're his feet. I do know that birds do like tuck up like that. It looks very weird where they've placed his little talons, because it makes it look like he has little villainous fingies.
Yeah, that's very true. Those look more like one of those things. Definitely looks like more like a claw than a talon.
Also, Chad, I want to point out you can barely see tiny, super deformed Captain Blackbeard in the back there.
Yeah, just chibi.
He's just chilling. I like these kind of like weird gold accents, but also I wonder how he doesn't like break all of his feathers because he's wearing armor? Question mark?
He's a very strong bird.
I always think it's
Birds
like
are pretty
it could be
strong.
like kind of like oil metal, so it's like it's very bendy.
Yeah, it could be. It is definitely metallic though, because it's got like a highlight sheen.
He's also a fiend, right? So he could be also a demon crow.
Yeah, it is true. They did something interesting where even though this could have been a very easy excuse to be like call him a winged beast, they decided to keep all of them consistent. Even though I don't know if there's any call out for fiends. Also, hey, Carlos, spoilers. We'll talk about Jord at the end of Plunder Patrol because it's the newest. You need a new joke. Ask me where wind ship. And honestly, also as much as I want to, call out Konami on how small-brained they are with adding stuff, they are going to have to change their paradigm a little if they want to keep adding new ships. I would guess probably the wind ship should also be a pendulum scale just to make that work. But anyway,
So I just had the
Black
dumbest
eyes.
idea that I think would be hilarious.
is it an actual flying ship?
No, not that. I was thinking a Sue ship Plunder Patrol hybrid.
I mean, there's definitely some funnies you can do there, but they don't
As like
really
I
line
don't
up
think it would work though.
directly.
It'd just be funny as like a joke card.
Because you gotta... neither of their decks synergize super well. Yeah, Yord exists. Anyway, what Black Eyes does, it is a level 4 Fiend Water Monster. This is technically an Xyz deck, so this is why all of them will have really weird stars. I think they're all level 4, even though their stat lines are very bad for 4s. So Black Eyes is 1k, 1k, Water Fiend. Target a Plunder Patrol monster in your graveyard except Black Eyes. Special summon this card from your hand. If you do add that monster back to your hand, you can't special summon this turn except for Plunder Patrol. If this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, target a Plunder Patrol monster in your spell trap zone, special summon it in defense position. You can use each effect of Black Eyes once per turn. So Black Eyes, this was a very good support card when it came out. Not enough to take the deck over the top because your extra decks are still limited, but very important because it gives you recovery, extension, and then also, if this card is sent from your monster zone or from your hand, keeping in mind, remember I said, equipping things to things is kind of one of their dealios. But hey, you know what sends from monster zone to graveyard? Link summoning.
Yeah.
So basically, Black Eyes is meant to be not a starter, but a fairly decent extender in the archetype. He gives you extra bodies, extra recovery, keeps guys back in rotation. So it's, I believe, considered a pretty decent card. Again, like I said, not a starter, but an extender the deck needed like 2 years after it came out. But we can move on.
Sorry for the brief aside, I just need to quickly complain. I've come across the worst deck I've ever seen so far. Which is fucking Sprite Runic. What the fuck is this?
Oh, you don't know about Sprite Runic being... Well, okay.
You mean like one of the strongest decks that are most annoying to play decks too?
Yeah, Sprite Runic is a known quantity. It's
annoying.
not actually... Fun fact, it's not actually the best deck. I think there were like 8 of those guys in the last round of MCS, the Master Circuit series that just happened. And like, none of them made it to finals. The finals were fucking Exorcister versus Thunder Dragon.
That's actually
Ooh,
kinda
my
funny.
deck's actually good.
As someone who
Yeah,
got
no,
the
Axe,
shit
spoilers,
kicked in by
Colossus is really fucking good.
I mean, listen,
Someone who
That's
got
literally
the
all
shit-
the only difference in Master Duel is you can play one Colossus.
listen.
As,
Yes,
Yeah.
off me finish.
as someone who got their shit kicked in by Exorcist, yeah, it's quite a good deck.
Yeah.
As someone that I actually played that matchup against Liart a while back, and so I would open the game up again because It turns out I just don't like doing. I don't like doing ranked Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, that's
It's
one.
The ladder grind is the thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing I disagree with Car Market on. They said that Colossus could come back.
I mean,
I
it would
feel
make
like-
Thundra good, but Colossus is just a dreadfully unfun card to play against.
I feel like
can
everything
be-
except its mistake effect is really good. That
And
Colossus.
unfortunately, well, that's the reason why you play it.
Can
The
be
other thing
put
is
in
why,
anything that has Thunder.
The other thing is specifically Nemesis. Is it Flag or Corridor? The green Nemesis card is a Thunder type monster that has like an inherent special effect, which means that a Thunder monster resolves its effect, so it's a literal one-card Colossus. But yeah, no,
I hate the
Exorcister is a
Nemesis
good
cards.
deck. I'll say this: they're not the best deck around either. It's just a deck where you have to pay close attention to what you're doing because they basically proc whenever anything moves around in the graveyard. But yeah, check out MBT posted the latest round of MCS, so you can check it out for yourselves. Chat.
Sorry for the. Yeah, sorry
That's okay.
for the.
Let me pull up
email.
our next card art.
I just
but
felt so offended.
I will. We've been going for about 30 minutes ish. Yeah, I will step away for a sec. Before I step away,
I'm getting a phone call.
Let's getting a phone call. It's a good time to step away. Before I step away, real quick, and I'll mute and deafen everybody so you guys can not worry about chat listening to you. But I do want to say, as usual, I think the fact that people are still playing Sprite Runic lets you know that Master Duel is once again really limptic with their ban lists. Because they were like, yes, let's just, we're releasing all the Sprite monsters, so what we're going to do is we're going to preemptively limit starter to 2, and we're going to put all the Runic spells to 2. That will stop Runic Sprite. No! All of those cards are instant fusion. That's the part that makes Runic Sprite good. Oh no, I can't run 3 copies of my spell. What will I do? I'll run 2 more copies of the stupid spells.
Or like run a full 3 of like Called by Maxi Ash.
Oh well, you can't run those. Called by is at 2.
Hold on,
Okay, 2 Called by, and I guess some crossouts. But
I'm back to my phone call, but I also need to point out who the fuck decided that Utopic cards needed a FTK.
I've always done that.
And I've come across like 3 of them in like 2 days. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody must have given them something new. Anyway, I'm going to step away and be right back, so I'm going to deafen the Discord. Listen to the tunes
Good.
chat. Be
They
right back.
can't hear me complain.
Oh my god, it's so hot. I had to go towel off. My headphones are warm, chat. Okay. Snap us back.
It's really good
Slide
against
us in.
their deck.
Okay, well, Omega's back. I'll stop this my stream. I'm just complaining about Master Duel here. Don't mind me.
It do be like that. I keep wanting to try and make it to diamond, but then I never have the fucking...
It is. Sorry.
He's getting blasted. He's getting...
It's Dark Magician. I called it. I'm fighting Dark Magicians.
Yeah, that's very popular since the structure deck came out. Is it? Are they literally playing just the structure deck?
I don't know, but they've shown up here with the Dark Magician icon, the field, the back spell, and everything.
Yeah.
Also, look at these three boys.
Yeah, so specifically this card, the card art we've actually pulled up is Bluebeard, the Plunder Patrol shipwright. This is a much better version than the Japanese name originally, which is Plunderol. Bluebeard, the licensed mariner. So shipwright is not technically correct, but licensed mariner is really weird.
I just realized. So he's holding papers in a sense. I thought he was holding bags of like chips.
No. They're sheets of paper, and you can see scattered around. He's got the drawings for all the different ships.
You can see Redbeard just be like, "Have you filled out my acquisition form already? I need more stuff."
No, he needs more kaleidoscope juice in his kaleidoscope.
And the other one is, I think, sleeping or just looking at some paper.
It's just Whitebeard.
No, there's some angry Greeble lines coming up.
Yeah, I think he's reading some shit. But yeah, Bluebeard himself looks pretty good. He's blue. His pants fit. He's got like a little hood. Apparently they sell logo pants. They must have a merch wing.
Do they have? I can't tell if they're hooves or not. Like what their feet are.
They've got like weird troll feet, so they've got like elephant feet, but with big toes.
Yeah.
And I will say their proportions are all over the place. Look at Redbeard's foot, and then look at Bluebeard's feet. Like I said, the artist for these is clearly not concerned with making everything seem perfectly symmetrical and orderly appointed.
Okay, so I've just discovered something. Board Farmer has pointed out that Bluebeard looks done with life, and then I zoomed in on my own with my own eyes. The crease on Bluebeard's forehead looks like an ass. If you just focus on that.
No. He's got a very, very deep worry line. He has a face butt. But yeah, what Bluebeard does, he is a level 4 water fiend. He has 500 attack and 1,000 defense. I told you, their stats don't make much sense for their level.
He's got the stats of material.
Yeah. They do have some.
I hate how apt that is.
They do have some attack modulating effects, but yes, for the most part, none of these guys are. None of the actual Plunder Patrols are good at being big. You need ships.
Okay,
to be
stop
big.
me when I start being wrong, but like I feel like ever since the Xyz era, there has been certain cards when you see the stats and their level, it's like, oh, you're just a material card.
No, you are absolutely correct. I
die.
think we have brought this up before talking about Xyz archetypes, where you can tell when Konami stopped, like, very, very early in Yu-Gi-Oh! Levels don't make any fucking sense, right? And then somewhere around the GX and the Synchro era, they, like, start making more sense. It's not perfect because Konami didn't always know how to balance, like, Synchro levels and shit. But then you get to the Xyz era, and Konami is full board just like, yeah, no, with this Xyz mechanic, we don't actually care what the stats are anymore. We'll put 2 level 4s that have 0 attack just so that you can special summon them and make Utopia. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Considering that one of their starting extra deck monsters was the Xyz, I think that is what most of them are geared towards. I don't remember if they can hard make the Xyz that way, but I'm pretty sure they can. I think it's a rank 4. We'll find out in a second. Or chat can just let me know if they know. But Bluebeard's effect is if you control a Plunder Patrol monster, except Bluebeard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent from your hand or monster zone to the graveyard, discard 1 card, draw 1 card. You can use each once per turn. So, Bluebeard is a slightly later. He was second wave in Eternity Code, but still another free extender. You normal summon 1 Plunder Patrol. Boom! You now have 2 Plunder Patrols. By the way, this means that Plunders did not have a lot of main deck monsters when they first launched. Though this was luckily like 3 months later. I think that means that they had like 2. Because I'm pretty sure Golden Hair was later as well.
It's like the opposite problem of For Hire, which is they had a lot of main deck monsters, but not really any options.
Yeah, they did not have a good extra deck strategy for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Their brand new Link 3 came out, or was she a Link 2? Anyway, they got a new Link monster like last year. It's really good.
I appreciate that we have a cool, cute-looking Bluebeard who I can safely divorce from knowledge of the other Bluebeard I know of.
Yeah, I don't think he's meant to reference that Bluebeard.
Yeah, that one.
I think they had a color scheme with the beards, because there were a couple. Anyway, it's time to talk about the token girl one. Golden Hair, the newest Plunder Patrol.
No, it's like Goldilocks.
Not great when your title is about just how you're the
The new one, yeah. There are a load, by the way, of weird dumb ship positions they could do. You could do the Plunder Patrol Quartermaster, the Plunder Patrol Powder Monkey.
Is there no deckhand?
All right,
No,
this
she's
is
got giant
Plunder
boots.
Patrol Swabby. Yeah, she has big stompy boots. I mean, they have big weird troll feet, so it makes
she
sense.
is just
I mean, it's just a
adorable.
deckhand.
Yeah.
She is adorable.
Anyone who hurts her gets killed.
Yes, she is
I've only
pretty
had
cute.
Theo for a day and a half.
Probably goes like to the plane.
And I like how swashbuckly she is. I don't know why she's got a saw-backed cutlass, but you know, it's cool. She's trying. Once again, got a little logo dress, so you know the marketing department is killing it. This one guy is wondering what the hell she's doing standing on a cannon and looking cool when he's like moving heavy objects, but whatever.
I'm trying to load the cannonball.
It's like she's just trying to be cool. She's this trainee. She's trying to stand out.
And similar to Bluebeard, Golden Hair was also. It's funny because of the way math works. Red and Whitebeard are their oldest cards, and those are at the bottom. Luckily, we did Blackbeard first. But this is she was just a common in Eternity Code, so no waifu tax. They're just like, there's a girl one? Well, it's Plunder Patrol, so we don't care. Common. That's another thing. I think Plunder Patrol is generally considered very popular because it is absolutely a budget deck. A lot of them have low rarity reprints, and then a lot of them got rarity upgrade prints in Ghost from the Past Second Haunting, which is an all ultra set. So, in which, by the way, Plunder Patrols were not the chase cards. I don't even know what the fuck the chase card would be in Ghost from the Past Second Haunting. You're trying to get, investment nerds like Gage to get ghost rares? I don't fucking know.
I mean, he runs a shop, so like it's just half his market.
Well, yeah. That doesn't mean that Gage's takes on rarity were not really brain dead, but they were. That was a while ago. I mean, not to dob too hard on Gage. He has his own perspective, and he is not always the bad guy, and actually, like, sometimes has reasonable opinions. But as you can see from MBT's Magical Hats format, great show, by the way. You should totally check it out. They all straight up admit that Gage is required for the show because he has weird takes, and if he didn't, they would catch the sus imposter every time.
Honestly, I wonder if they had Alex over instead of Coder once, just to be like as a funny bit. But I don't know Alex's opinions most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know what Simo actually does. Like, I know he played in the YCS Teams event. He mostly seems to play like weird side formats, and obviously does like a lot of stuff for history and Prague and things.
He's a more content creator than a pro player, which is like I said, put it.
Yeah. Anyway, Golden Hair is a level 4 water fiend who actually has level 4 stats. She has 0 attack, 2k defense. We've discovered stats. Her name in Japanese is Golden Hair the Trainee. So the newest Plunder Patrol is a little... It fucks with the grammar, but it's still technically correct. And she is a tuna. Because their third ship that was added, we'll talk about later, was a Shinkro. So they needed a tuner to hypothetically be able to hard make it. Again, you don't usually do that, but options are nice. Golden Hair's effect is you can send one other Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face-up field. This includes the Spell Trap Zone. To the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, discard one card, special summon this card, but you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except Plunder Patrol. You can use each effect once per turn. So, Golden Hair is another starter because, remember, she can send from your hand or face-up field. And she also recycles herself. Lots of the other plunders have effects when they are sent from the hand or discarded that way, so really neat little kick up here, giving them some actual like proper starting ability. I'm pretty sure for certain you play 3x Black Eyes, 3x Golden Hair. I don't remember if you play 3x Bluebeard. You play some number of Bluebeard because you require Plunder Patrol names, and you don't have a lot of those. So I think you play all of them, but you don't always play 3x of. Because, you know, you sometimes need other shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't quite work out the way you want it to.
Sorry, the fandom wiki was being really weird to me. When I searched Redbeard the Plunder Patrol matey, it was like, hey, yo, did you mean the Plunder Patrol archetype? No, I mean Redbeard the Plunder Patrol matey, 3 results down. Don't know what the fuck you were smoking. Anyway, I have to shrink him a little. He big. Let me make sure we're framed up right. So Redbeard is not the one with the knife in the background. He's the one with the red beard. And the mustache.
Don't say. Also, I have found the ultimate counter to Time Lords. It's Scrapline and Scarecrow.
You right. Sadly, I can't run Scrap Iron in Labyrinth because it does not remove a monster.
Yeah.
God, I wish you could
But
side deck and match Doodle. Anyway.
It's funny, but anyway, sorry.
Redbeard.
Look at that big-ass hammer.
Yeah, he's got a big hammer. He is the matey. Because he's gonna, you know, break ships.
Yeah,
This is another one that's interesting. I feel like I say this every time, but the way that these are transliterated between Japanese and English is very interesting. In Japanese, this is Redbeard the Navigator. Matey works for that, but Navigator is much more on point because he has, like, his spyglass and he's looking out from the boat like, there it is.
It also makes sense with Bluebeards. Because he was arguing about, like, no, my scope needs to be good.
Yes.
Right, the guy in the back's just one of those murder hobos. Just like, I want to get him in violence right now.
He's happy to be here.
Give me the violence.
You can see that Redbeard has a weird machete knife thing in his belt, and he's got his giant hammer, so he's ready to rock and roll. You know, as much as anybody with 1,000 attack and defense is ready to rock and roll anyway.
Yeah.
There's not much else to say here, though. I do like how, even though they have thematic names, they make them all look different. Like, while he's called Redbeard, he has a very small, you know, very pointy beard and mustache.
Honestly,
back machete.
I like that all their, I guess all the, like, their knives or daggers have, like, a sawtooth, or, like, I guess, like, a fin aesthetic to it.
That's a sawtooth.
It's like, it's a fun thing if it's, like, just a pirate armada.
Yeah, actual pirate weapons were not that. I don't think they used a lot of saw teeth.
Nah. I think he mostly uses that hammer anyway, because it's good for popping holes in ships.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're fighting us? No, I'm fighting the ship.
So, Rougebeard. Actually, no. Sorry. Barbe Rouge, because, you know, we have to say it the backwards in the French. Beard red. Your language makes sense.
Well,
the German's much better. Rotbart. Rotbart, the Plunder Patrouillian Matros.
Blackbart.
Well, I mean,
bless you, German language.
Well, I mean, the French have the words for "I like you" and "I love you" being the exact same thing.
And in Italian, this is Barbarossa. So if you didn't know what Barbarossa meant, that does mean Redbeard. Anyway, he is a Water Fiend, level 4, 1k, as I said. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your action deck, the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in the graveyard, and if you do, equip this card to it. If this card is sent from your hand or monsters under the graveyard, target a Plunder Patrol you control except Redbeard, equip this card to it. You know, use each effect once per turn. So Redbeard is another, not a starter, but basically, he does let you do some setups if you send him from the field. And this guy was an actual original card in Ignition Assault. So he's part of their first wave. And he, similar to Blackbeard, gives you a way to actually get out a ship, which is good. I'm also going to say Redbeard is probably a card that is not played at full 3. He's still a decent normal summon, but he doesn't free extend yourself unless you've already got guys out. So you need to kind of have some back and forth. And his quick effect is cute, but why do that when you can just summon 2 guys and make Blackbeard? And have the exact same thing. But still, a decent starter. And then their last one, you've already technically seen him, but in a different context. Whitbeard.
Whitebeard. My favorite One Piece character.
Beard White. Though it is funny because he doesn't actually have a beard. He just has a mustachio. 80% is big, so we can get all up on screen. And is that centered? Yeah. So this is Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol helm. Or, once again, completely changing what his job is in from Japanese, Whitebeard, the engineer.
Just that guy to the right.
Yeah, I know. The little swabbies in the back are great.
Yeah, that.
Captain, why are you in the way? I'm
Yeah,
trying to
that.
see where we're going.
Yeah, that.
Well, he doesn't need to see where we're going. He's rolling.
Anime sweat drop.
I just enjoyed the bit of how, honestly, he could be called White Stash, and it still have the same effect.
Yeah.
His hair covers
That
up his
at least
entire
though is not
eyes.
because it is Shirohige. It is Whitebeard in Japanese, but
Baba Blanca.
I mean, yeah. That is it is no, literally that is how it is in Spanish anyway, Baba Blanca.
Oh, yes.
In
Good
Italian
old
it's
Blanca.
Barba Bianca. French is Barbe Blanche, and German Weissbart.
I don't think those are his eyebrows. I think that's just part of his hair.
I think it is.
I mean, I don't know if
his
it's
hat, yeah.
if you can actually tell. I mean, it's definitely not his hat because his hat is.
No,
Just
I mean his hat keeps his hair in place.
Yeah, it might just be really long bangs, but it's also very funny if they're his eyebrows. So I think either way works. But he's looking out.
They
He's
just
doing the
morph
thing.
into one.
And somehow this man has the most assist attack out of any of them other than Blackbeard so far.
He's old.
Yes, he's at the front.
So Whitebeard, the
Oh.
Plunder Patrol helm, is a Water Fiend Tuna. He's their other Tuna. Level 4, 1500 attack, 1k defense. During your opponent's turn, you can special summon an extra deck, a Plunder Patrol from your extra deck, same as your monster controls, and if you do equip it to this card is sent. Activate this effect, special summon one Plunder Patrol from your deck except Whitebeard. Can't special summon this turn except for Plunder Patrols. So I do believe you play Whitebeard as a good normal summon because when he's linked off for Blackbeard, you get to summon another guy. But otherwise, again, the fact that I feel like they learned very quickly, as you can tell from the way Black Eyes, Bluebeard, and Golden Hair are done, they learned very quickly that there's no reason to give the main deck cards the equip effect and summon effect, because you can just summon two guys and make Blackbeard instead and do the same thing.
Yeah.
I have a design question.
Yeah.
Do you think this archetype would be broken if it gave it like an archetype-specific Link 1 that's like a lifeboat?
I mean, what does the Link one do? Because otherwise, no, it wouldn't, because they don't benefit from it.
Yeah. No effect. Link 1. It's just wait a
Like,
second.
what
Tinian
does
has
the
that.
hypothetical Link one do? Because, I mean, if it's just a Link one that has just the Blackbeard equip effect, I don't think that would do it. No. I mean, hypothetically, I believe you can use this is the thing we didn't talk about, but you can Blackbeard to Blackbeard, so you technically have a water target. It's just that just gets you more Blackbeard, so it's not usually very relevant. Because Blackbeard is a monster in the extra deck. A like Link 1 lifeboat probably wouldn't do that much. You would need to have it do something. Like, does it special a guy from your hand to the zone it points to?
Honestly, I was thinking it summons a target that is a different attribute than things you have equipped to another target.
That doesn't do anything. They're all waters.
Okay.
They're based around your opponent's field or graveyard. So your attributes don't matter. Now, if you want to do it, like, you can make it so that that one has an effect where it summons a ship not based on your opponent's attributes, but based on yours. But again, that doesn't work because your deck is all waters.
Fair.
So
Yeah,
there's...
have it do the thing where it summons a ship of a different attribute than a monster in your opponent's graveyard.
Yeah, that would
Fair,
just give you access to all the ships. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, exactly. Just broken.
That on a Link one is probably not okay, yes. Because that's just several of these guys have free special summons. There's... Link ones are interesting, but archetype Link ones I do not believe are inherently broken. It's any Link one that is like a free extender.
Honestly, I feel like it would work if it's a ship that you have already summoned. So you have to have pre-summoned it before to do it.
I mean, yeah, just summon a Plunder Patrol ship from your graveyard. That might work. just to get him back in rotation. There's a few things I think. I mean, honestly, I don't know if this deck needs that much help because, as I mentioned, they don't have a broad tournament representation, but they won at least one regional before they got their new ship. The main thing right now is that the actual, nobody's talking about it, but the actual TCG meta has been insufferable for like 6 months. Because Ishizu Tier was very brain-hurty. I think most people's general consensus is those games were not bad. It's just it was very difficult, very skill-intense, very time-wasty because you do a lot of shit back and forth, and it was absolutely Tier 0, so it was very boring. The Kashtira meta is over very rapidly if you get your outs, but that's because Kashtira literally prevents you from playing the game.
As it does.
Yeah, so, you know, Nibirus and Lava Golems and shit are vital.
Yeah.
Kaiju's very important.
You know what could also stop the Kashtira player? Just punching them in the face.
I mean, that will work.
And then you get banned for life.
Yeah, or that, or just...
And then you
that,
get banished face
them,
down.
That or just... that or just Lava Golem, they feel about how much they spent over $1,000 on the cards.
Yeah, you attack their wallet. You call them out. You show up with Plunder Patrol and they'll be like, this cost me $10. By the way, so I misspoke earlier. This is one of their first ships. This is the Synchro one. This is Plunder Patrol ship Bron. Bron in this case meaning red, so this is the fire one. There's a lot of color themes going on.
Oh, I love it.
Actually, Brian is in fire. Like Brand. Yeah, no. It's a big wave. The art is a little simple, but you can tell it's supposed to be a fire ship because it's got like the flaming paint on the bottom, and it's got the big iron tube to shoot flames out. That's cool. It's not really specifically
the guys are
like
trying their best to row.
Yeah. Well, you know,
the sweat.
It's very funny. I don't know why this archetype called Plunder Patrol, other than trolls are also kind of Nordic. I don't know why, for instance, this is basically, while they reference classical pirates and have some, like, in their, like, art aesthetics, this is very much a Viking archetype.
Yeah,
so
Whitebeard had the same ship design of, like, a shield on the side. He had a long ship.
Honestly, I feel like it's a... Is this one of the earlier ones, or is this, like, the second wave?
No, this is right at the first.
Honestly, I feel like it's the one... I feel like... Don't they, like, shift the ship design? Don't they shift the ship designs as the waves go?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Then maybe it's a thing of... It started with this, and it was probably going to be more diverse, but then it's kind of stuck with it.
I mean, I kind of assume they always meant the ships to be this way because of Blackbeard also being very Nordic, but no, they've kept the themes. So in Japanese, this is Plundrel, Blazing Fast Brawn. Note that the Plunder Patrol ship thing does not exist in Japanese. They just have names like the ship names. I don't know, and I really don't want chat to explain to me what the go suffix means in terms of boats, because I know that will bring up some sort of a One Piece discussion, because I know that it was called the Medigo. But that seems to be the thing they're going for. Is this actually a One Piece archetype? Kind of, but not really. I mean, Oda's art style is very stylized.
Yeah.
How do they fire the gun? They probably pull some triggers somewhere.
It's probably a thing
that
that's
man
behind the head.
Yeah.
That man will be in the hospital eventually. Again.
But not much else to say about Braun art-wise, because it is a boat. It is dragon boat. It looks kind of like it's huffing and puffing. All right. So Braun is their synchro. It is a level 8 fire synchro fiend. So also, by the way, this boat is a demon.
It's
enchanted.
Yeah. And yeah, so I was like, I don't remember how many of these they can hard make. You can absolutely hard make Brand. It is a completely generic level 8 synchro. It's 2,500 attack, 1,000 defense, 1 tuner, 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Literally generic. The main thing is just that, you can't really summon generic monsters with plunders because they all lock you to plunders. This is also why, by the way, they've been waiting on shit like the Earth ship, because they are... Plunder is a very well-designed archetype in that they are full of big, fat archetype locks, so... You can't really special summon 40 Plunder Patrols and then do an access code line. It doesn't work.
Big, fat lock-ins.
Yeah. So, what Braun does, Braun, first of all, makes all other Fiend monsters you control gain 500 attack. Like I said, they have some attack modulation. You can discard a Plunder Patrol card, then target one spell trap your opponent controls, banish it. Then add a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to your hand. This is a quick effect if this card is equipped to the Plunder Patrol card. You can only use each effect of Braun once per turn. So, Braun is pretty good. It is your spell trap removal. Keep in mind that is not a destruction. That is just a banish. So that is a very annoying and powerful effect, and it makes all of your guys bigger. Braun is pretty good. The other reason why, again, you wouldn't play it outside of Plunder Patrol decks is because it needs Plunder Patrol to actually, like, you know, use its effects. And obviously, you don't want to hard make it because then you don't get the quick effect version. But that's why there are a few spell traps and stuff around that. But yeah, Braun is pretty decent. I believe Morik is the dark one, and that's the Xyz, and that has basically the same thing, but for monsters? Yes, for effect monsters specifically. So the first two ships were good. The problem is, like I said, they were only dark and only fire, so you were very limited to what kinds of decks you could make and play against. So here is the card art for Plunder Patrol ship. Morik, or Mork, which in this case means dark. So it is the night boat.
It feels like just a later iteration of the previous one, in like a good way.
Yeah.
Like they iterated it in design.
Well, and I can tell. I feel like this one is specifically meant for night sailing because like they have a lot of these like extra lanterns and spotlight effects on it, you know.
And like holes they can probably like for positional lighting too.
And the hull itself otherwise is painted like black and gold, you know, dark reds.
Just the light shining out just reminds me of all those meme pics of just showing colorful lights coming out of the thing and showing the inside music.
It's a SpongeBob potty house.
Yeah, if I had some generic rave music, I would drop it right now.
Why is it glowing?
I mean, also I want to say they do have like laugh or chatter lines too, so there is, I think, a party going on this boat.
Yeah, no sweat mocks this time.
Which is very ironic, by the way, because in Japanese this is Purandoru Seijaki no Merukugo, so Plundrol Silent Morik. The boat is silent, but yes, it's supposed to be stealthy. And yes, Morik is a dark rank 4 fiend, 1,000 attack, 2,500 defense. So yes, you can once again also absolutely make this the hard way. It's completely generic, just 2 level 4s. But it has basically the same effect as Morik did, but for monsters. Discard a Plunder Patrol card, target an effect monster, banish it, add 1 Plunder Patrol spell trap. So it has, you know, the reverse effects. This is a quick effect, etc. But it also has an Xyz effect, which is fun. If a Plunder Patrol card cards you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach material from this card instead. So Morik is the defensive one. It's got 2,500 defense, and it has a protection effect, which, you know, having played against Plunders in a few things, can be quite spicy. Detached protect effects are pretty good. There is a reason why every deck that would do Zenmain's Pass. Like, when you need to just stall for time, it's pretty good. So,
yeah, just like, fuck you, I'm stalling.
Yeah, this means then that their third one was their fusion, which is, I do not know. Chad didn't yell at me, so I don't know if they even have a fusion spell. So I think the only way you can make this is with, like, by playing Poly, so I don't think you do that. I think you just summon it through, like, Blackbeard or the other effects.
They do have a Poly. It's just called something very weird.
One of their spell traps is a fusion spell. Okay. I was like, I don't know. If they do, as I believe I said... God damn it, fucking... Copy this image when I tell you to copy it. There it is. Paste it.
Yeah, it's called Plunder Patrol Shipping.
Ah, that one.
what kind of name is that?
Oh, they're all like that. Trust me. I'm going to
Yeah.
read all the spell trap names because they're fucking great. But here is Lise. And I think this may have been what you were thinking about, Axe, with, like, is the ship design different because this is a double hull? But no, it is like a double-hulled longship still. They still got the shields and the oars and stuff. So
It looks like it's the two ships, and then they had a connective thing that Blackbeard stands on.
It's
where they
a
cargo.
which, as far as I know, did not ever exist in real life, but it's a catamaran style like longship where you took like two hulls and kind of attached them together with a midship.
Just once again, Blackbeard just standing there.
Yeah,
arms
Blackbeard's
crossed.
just Gynax pose and chilling.
Yeah.
Okay, so not really a lot else to say about this one. This is the light one, which is why I think there's so much fucking sunshine in this.
Yeah.
So, this is in Japanese twin-winged Lys. Cool. That tells me nothing. I will say, at the very least, this is a very interesting attribute case because remember they're all fiends. So this is a light fiend fusion, level 8.
That's not that weird.
2K. It's not that weird, but it is a little weird. It's funny. It is 2K. This one is archetype locked. Its materials are 2 Plunder Patrol monsters, exactly. During the main phase, quick effect, special summon a Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or from your face-up spell and trap zone. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, discard a Plunder Patrol to negate and destroy it. This card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card. Add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. You can use each effect once per turn. So, Lys is a very important card. This was added in Eternity Code in the second wave. So, this is a negate. And it's always a quick effect, special summon extension, so it can help you cycle out guys. For instance, if you use Blackbeard to make Lys, you can use Lys to resummon Blackbeard and go again, basically.
Yes.
And this is good. This was good designed by Konami because, like I said, the light and the darks are going to be the ships you are most likely to be able to summon all the time. So Murik being effect monster removal, probably pretty good for modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And Lys being, a negate and a special summon extension, also pretty good. And other than, like I said, Black Eyes came out a couple of years ago in Lightning Overdrive. That was it from Plunder for a while, except for some of their spell traps, until we did get 2. Just this year, came out a month ago in Photon Hypernova, Plunder Patrol ship Jord. Jord
Sorry, I have
being
a question,
the Norse word for
was that Black apostrophe eyes?
No. All one word. Black Eyes. It's like black beard, but black eyes.
Jord.
Just wondering if I have to worry about another archetype.
No. Large. Okay, thank you. Somebody's got it. And continuing the jokes, you'll get immediately what Jord's thing is. Hold on, it's a little big. Let me shrink him down. Guys, do you get it? It's a land ship.
Yeah.
The Earth ship is a land boat.
That's
I
great.
like that one guy who's turned around with the horns just to look at his friend like, eh.
Yeah, just be like, can
Pedal
you
it.
believe this shit?
Yeah.
I assume they're rowing. Like I assume like they're rowing in like they're like road like I guess like
Yeah,
Pulling
rowing,
gears.
maybe not necessarily rowing, but maybe they're
Right,
hand cranking.
yeah like that's what I was trying to remember the word for it. Yeah,
Yeah, they got like a hand crank down there. Yeah, probably. I will say, I think it's because it has wheels, but Jord is actually a little bit of a different ship design. It's not quite a long ship. It's a lot more boxy. But still got some fun stuff going on. But yeah, no, they gave them a new boat. It's Earth.
Yeah.
So, the dark one was at night. The light one was during the day. So the Earth one is on the land.
I guess the windship
At
has
sunset.
to be an airship or a sailboat.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Mega made
I think I said it should just be a flying ship.
said that like a few times.
So,
An airship also with the shields on the sides.
and I think I can see exactly what they should do, because so Jord is a level 8 Fiend Synchro Pendulum effect monster.
Yes, pendulum. Let's go.
Yeah, so this is a pend. It's level 8. It's got 1500 attack, 3k defense. Its pendulum effect is... Actually, no, we should read its monster effect first, because it's an extra deck pendulum monster, so, you know, you can't just play it in your pen zones. It is another generic 8 synchro, 1 tuner, 1 or more non-tuners. If your opponent special summons a monsters, except during the damage step, add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. Then, if this card is equipped with the Plunder Patrol card, you can special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your deck. So this basically does all the stuff. It is a search and also a summon if your opponent does anything. You can target 1 Plunder Patrol card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If you do, place this card in your pen zone. You can only use each effect of Yord once per turn. So Yord also sets it to your scale. It is a scale 1, by the way, so it is a low scale. What I'm saying is they should make a rank 8 Pendulum Exceeds that is the high scale, like a 9.
Yes.
I don't know if this deck needs access to a full Pendulum scale, but it wouldn't hurt. It'd be very funny. They've got the right monsters for it, because Blackbeard's already got like 2 arrows.
That's the high one.
Would make sense, because it's up in the sky. And its Pendulum effect is... You can declare 1 attribute. Return this card to the extra deck. If you do, special summon 1 Plunder Patrol token, a Fiend level 4, 0/0, with that attribute to both players' fields in defense position. You can use this effect of Yord once per turn. So Yord forces your opponent to have attributes you can use by summoning a token, but then you have to worry about them having a token. So it's a pretty good card. I don't think that, like I said, this card came out like a month ago in the same set that all the Kashtira shit came out, so... The Plunder Patrol is not going anywhere right now in the TCG. Maybe when some ban lists hit and we know what the meta's like. Because there were actually questions before Photon Hypernova came out. Is like, yeah, is Kashtira actually the best deck? Yes. It's not a tier 0 deck. People are still coping hard on tier limits, but I'm pretty sure it's been shown to be the best deck and at least definitely the most non-fun.
It
but
also has
pretty
actual, unlike actual with tier, there are hard outs for cash.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I mean, and like I said, to let everybody know how fucking crazy tier limit was, is it's still like at the YCS after all their good cards got banned and all the Ishizu cards went to 1, there was still like 30% of motherfuckers play it in Final Cut. Like,
yeah,
just you know, with a hope and a prayer playing high roll Kashtira. So
we can do it, guys. We can prove them wrong.
I don't think they won. I think it was a Kashtira setup in the end, but you know, they trying.
Yeah, it was Kashtira.
Meanwhile, I'm over here coping with my Zeok decks.
Yeah, if they hit Shangri-Ira, it would limit it pretty good. If you put it to 1, it would be very hard to avoid, because I won't say it's easy to play to the outs, but there are very distinct outs. Anything that puts monsters face down or like tributes them away gets rid of Kashtira's really easily. That or giving your opponent monsters so they can't use their special summon effects is also really good. But yeah, that's Yord. Just Grand Yord, by the way, in Japanese. Also, yes, I'm pronouncing it Yord. It is spelled Jord, but I know this is a Nordic word, so it is pronounced Yord.
No. I was about to say you can make a joke that it's similar to ford, but you don't ford the water, you're fording the land.
Built Yord tough.
No!
Yes, Board Farmer, Kashtira does technically lose to Book of Moon or Book of Eclipse. The problem is that they have to not lock all 5 of your spell trap zones, so you can play Book of Moon.
Yeah, it's easier to hit them with Lava Golem or...
Lava Golem or Kaiju's fucking Santa Claus works.
Whoever decided Sprite Elf could special summon a monster from the graveyard, but not to a zone it points to, needs to get shot.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, there's a reason why Elf got banned in the TCG, and I'm pretty sure it got limited in the OCG. So enjoy your Sprite Elf while you can, because it's just a generic Link 2 extender. Sprite get a second Link monster, which is better for their deck and is less generic. Sprite Sprind later.
Just come up against another Runic Sprite deck.
Yeah, it was popular. People be playing
the thing of like, oh yes, I'll Ash Blossom your Hugin, and then immediately it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, I'll just continue doing my thing.
We'll just play around it. But yeah, so that was Yordius. How long did this take? Like an hour? Yeah, like an hour.
Oh, fuck, I'm not dealing with this.
Not even a full hour, actually.
Yeah, we had some preamble. But we're not quite done, because I want to, like I said, I want to at least say the names of all the
Spell traps.
Yeah. Because they're really, really funny. So, you have things like the only one that's really boring is Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. Other than the card art explains that the emblem is apparently your weird spyglass. That's just an equip card. That's a Plunder Patrol equip card, a spell. Equip only a Plunder Patrol, it gains 500 attack. Also, your opponent can't target it with effects. You can send this card to the graveyard to special summon a Plunder Patrol from your extra deck with an attribute. Blah blah blah. Then take the monster that was equipped to this card, equip it to that card. It gains 500 attack. So, Emblem is not funny as a card. It's just it's an equip spell that works in this deck that is based around equipping.
It's important, but yeah.
Yeah, but the funny names include Plunder Patrol Booty.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, which was called Grand Voyage in Japanese, so you can tell it's the TCG team who's having fun here. That is a continuous trap that basically you declare an attribute, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, it becomes that attribute until the end of this turn. Then you can take a Plunder Patrol monster in your graveyard and either shuffle it or special summon it. You can use this effect once per turn. During your end phase, if you don't control Plunder Patrol monsters, you send this card to the graveyard. So, Booty helps you attribute fix and also get more advantage. There's also Plunder Patrol Party. Yes, you have to say it that way. There are 3 R's in that name.
It is the party.
Party.
It's a normal trap. It says if you control a Plunder Patrol, draw cards equal to the number of equip cards you control, then shuffle cards in your hand back into the deck. So, a number of equip cards you control +1, then shuffle the number equal to the equip cards you control back. So, it's only technically a +1, but it helps you reset your hand and dig deep. I'll use this effect each once per turn. If you special summon a Plunder Patrol monster while this card's in the graveyard, you can equip this card to that monster as an equip card that gives them 500 attack. So, like I said, their stats are all wimpy because they have like a lot of attack modulation. I feel like people are probably sleeping on Vanquished Soul. Nobody's really talking about it yet, which is weird. I mean, it's not that weird. I just don't even know if I want to mention what people are talking about in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now
what we need to do
chuds.
Let the third community know that they have a hot tiger lady.
I've only seen like one person talk about it. Some YouTuber starts with Y. That's about it.
That could be any number of Yu-Gi-Tubers. Anyway, Marth already said the name of this card, but their normal spell, fusion spell, is Plunder Patrol Ships Shipping. And I do think I want to actually... Yeah, because it's kind of funny.
It's a legal sentence.
It's kind of funny. I want to show you guys the card. Here it is. So it's Bluebeard showing Blackbeard, the new Lease boat, which makes sense because it summons Lease. Anyway, its effect is just fusion summon a Fiend fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials, hand or field. You can banish this card to target a Plunder Patrol, equip an emblem or a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to that target. So its graveyard effect is much better than its actual fusion effect.
It's just hit me that the ship that is 2 ships merged, like combined, like bolted together is the fusion one.
Yeah, it's funny that way. And I think that again, this was just Plunder Patrol Ceremony, by the way, in the Japanese. I think this card would be more popular if they had more fusionable targets, but since they only have one fusion monster and all of their monsters block you, it doesn't matter that this summons a Fiend fusion monster, right? And it has to be from your hand or field, so that does trigger their effects, but it's not very good. If you really wanted to emphasize fusion summoning, I would probably come up with a better fusion spell. And also, I would call it a fusion card so you can get support for it. You know. Then there's Plunder Patrol Shipyard. There are 3 R's in that one as well. That's their field spell. It says, Plunder Patrol monsters you control gain 500 attack for each Plunder Patrol in your spell trap zone. Plunder Patrol card, by the way, not just monsters or spells. Both. You can use each effect once per turn. Discard 1 card, add a Plunder Patrol from your deck to your hand, except Shipyard. If it's in the graveyard, target a Plunder Patrol card in your spell trap zone. Set this card, return that target to hand. So it's a field spell that loops itself. It gives you 500, and it searches. Also, by the way, they've had this the whole time, so Konami doesn't print field spells that do everything just as legacy support. Sometimes they just give it to you. But yes, Shipyard is... Shipyard! I had to take a drink of my water after that last yar. Shipyard is very important to the deck because it gives you attack modulation and all the other nonsense. And then the last card is Pride of the Plunder Patrol. That one also doesn't have a fun name. That's just a continuous spell card. If a Plunder Patrol monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw a card. If you control Plunder Patrol, you can send this card to the graveyard to have your opponent draw a card, look at their hand and send a monster from the graveyard, or look at your opponent's extra deck, send a monster to the graveyard. So Pride is not awful because of that extra deck sniping effect. And the extra deck is probably where you will find weird attributes that aren't normal to your opponent's deck because they'll have, like, generic tech cards. But the fact that you have to, like, flip up this continuous spell card and then send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard to do it, a little slow. They've got a pretty decent spell trap lineup, Plunder Patrols. I would just say that, like, they probably just need, like, a couple more main deck monsters that are good starters, because I think right now your best starter is either Golden Hair or just normal summon like Whitebeard or Redbeard and then have, you know, Black Eyes, Bluebeard, Golden Hair, whatever in your hand. So they need a good normal summon is, I think, what they're really lacking to probably be really, really good. But they're also probably in a pretty decent space. They should actually probably get a ship that is water and a ship that is air or wind. And like I said, the wind ship can probably be like a rank 8 Xyz that's got like a high pendulum scale because it's also a pendulum monster. That'll probably like give the deck a funny play because it'll give them a, you know, another pendulum scale to do. And then, I don't know, make the water ship like a Blink 3 or something and make it a submarine. But yeah, that's basically Plunder.
A charming archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well liked by fans, like I said. Doesn't really have a lot of winning history, but it's out there.
I've given you some time, Chris Edward, because you've probably noticed it after you typed it, but that's the Whitebeard on the card.
I mean, I don't know. He might be behind. People are not required to watch this in a linear fashion.
Also, I don't...
Oh no. Time travel.
Also, to be direct, I'm not really sure what the archetype even needs to, like, I guess, compete nowadays.
I mean, honestly, the main thing is just they need to be able to have something to special summon no matter what deck your opponent is playing.
Fair.
That's the main thing. I think they need an extra deck that has all 6 attributes in it, so that no matter what deck your opponent plays, you don't have to do, like, wait for you to draw an exact right, you know, spell card. I assume you probably go... No, okay. Saying he's dumb. No, that's Bluebeard. You can tell because his beard is not white.
Similar.
Like, I
buddy.
think you tend to go second? No, you'd go first to set up Captain Blackbeard so you can make whatever ship you want. And then the problem is, if your opponent is playing, like, Waters or Winds, I know it's not very popular, but hey, you know what's a deck that's still really good right now and is making top cuts? And is all Waters and Winds? Fluundereeze. All those guys are wind and water. So, like, when your opponent normal summons their first burb, you just go, okay, I quit. No, Ice Jade is not making top cuts.
Are you Wait.
I'm pretty sure. From the last YCS, yes. It's also not good in Master Duel.
Sorry, I just imagined. I felt like Axel was about to say, "Are you sure about that?" But it's just like for Ice Age, it's just a very slow version.
I was more imaging, like, the bottom of the top 16, but yeah.
Well, this person playing Two Draco made me sit through a very slow match. They're gonna fucking die slowly.
Like, shocking nobody, the OCG's meta is still 5 billion tier laments. No longer tier 0, but they didn't limit any of the Shizu cards, so people are still playing and coping. Adamancipator is back. I think Block Dragon never got banned in the OCG. Pearly is good after some extra support, so it's not good now, but it will be later. People
Oh,
are
really?
actually playing Tri-Brigade again since they got their new Link monster. No, this doesn't mean you should play Tri-Brigade in Master Duel. Don't even play Tri-Brigade Sprite. That's not a good deck.
Who? What?
No, people, I have met them. I have streamed against people playing Tri-Sprite, and I'm like, why?
That doesn't...
I think that person still got me, but that was just because I had a god-awful hand. I don't remember. You can go back and see the matches.
I mean, I guess you
That
play
hurts.
Nurgle and Kit, and I'm not really sure. What
Yeah,
else
that's literally it. You play
Mercurier,
like
I guess.
I don't think Mercurier is in Master Duel. You still play like I think you still play like Karas or maybe Fractal. You play one of the bigger ones just because it searches you more Tri-Brigades. But no, it's not a good brew. At least I don't think it's particularly good. Bestial's sucking about 5%. Super Heavy Sam is 5%. Exorcister is 4. Lab 3. Runic 3. Branded 2. Kashira 2. Kashira Scareclaw specifically 2%. And then other 18%. And that other is, oh my god, I love the OCG sometimes. So they've got 3 Bestial Dragon Link in other, not really a big deal. 3 Fluanderies, 3 Sword Soul, one of which is Super Heavy Samurai Sword Soul.
Sounds fun, at least.
There's 3 people playing Valiants, though I think arguably they should put this in Super Heavy Sam because it's 2 Super Heavy Samurai Valiants and 1 Kashira Valiants. 2 people still playing Kotalk or Math Mech. 2, it's those same 2 motherfuckers. I see them every list on Road to the King. 2, Grass Dogmatica, Magistus, Chirluence, Shadow. There's those 2 guys every time.
If I can mill my deck, I'll win, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what it is. It's the grass deck. I would like to say, 1 Evil Eye player, whoever you are, sir or madam, I salute you. Bold choice.
Whatever meta beat means.
Yeah, I don't know what meta beat is. 1 Salomon Great, Salad's still good. 12th best deck. 1 Spellbook Draco Slayer nonsense. 1 Sprite Evil Twin. 1 Sprite Gishki. 1 Sprite Scareclaw Manadome. 1 Sun Avalon Rika. Somebody out there still representing. And
Gishki,
1
what?
Super Heavy Samurai. Yes, you play Gishki Sprite. There are 2s in Gishki. Gishki got support
right.
last year, my buddy.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of the main deck Yishikis are actually really good 2s.
Yeah, no.
That was stupid.
And I think you can occasionally still like snipe some cards out of your opponent's hands. But it's even if it's like hybrid decks, cool to see Valiants in a couple of brews. There's a lot of stuff out there that's pretty good. I'm kind of shocked Branded is not making more cuts, but that's probably just because Ishizu Tearlaments is still such a dominant deck in the OCG. I cannot believe that they let those Ishizu cards go out there.
That's got such a hate.
I mean, I want to say this. I don't want to say that Tri-Sprite is bad. I just want to say that I do not believe Tri-Sprite is the preferred brew of sprites.
Yeah, in my head, it feels like 2 things that don't work together.
So the best brews of Sprite that I have heard of, or at least the most popular, number 1, Runic Sprite. Number 2, Frog Sprite. Obviously, you can't play that because they preemptively banned Totally Awesome, so they kind of cut the middleman out there. But the Frog engine is still really good in sprites. I don't know how successful it was, but I know a fuck ton of people were playing Live Twin Sprite. That's the version of the deck I built. I still need to get more practice in, though, if I want to be any good at it. I feel more comfortable just playing
normal
Labyrinth.
Light Twins are level 2, right?
Yes, and they special
Okay,
summon
yeah.
themselves, so it's a good wombo combo. And the way I built my deck, I still run 1 version of Kizakill Lila in the main deck because, it's just
That makes sense.
she lets you tribute any 2 Link monsters, and sometimes you make a 4400 guy, and your opponent doesn't know what to do.
Fabled Sprite?
Yes, because a lot of the important Fableds have effects when they are discarded and stuff, and they are 2s. I don't think you play
Carlos. Thank you so much for spelling Sprite that way.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Sprite is spelled the ways that the things are spelled.
Can we have an
anyway.
odd type of 0 in the name? Can we have Sprite 0?
Not right directly.
I mean,
nope,
you,
that's
could
not how
use
spell
Sprite,
that.
you could use Sprite Infinity and call it. You could nickname it Sprite 0.
Oh, Melfi Sprite.
I believe Melfi Sprite. Yeah, that sounds like another popular one. Here's the thing. Sprite is such a generic ass level 2, link
Just
to rank
me too.
2 engine that all kinds of nonsense you can do.
Yeah.
Nimbles are all 2s. The thing is that until you get Sprite Sprint, you can't pitch Nimble Angler to summon Nimble Beavers. But no, there is a whole Nimble subtype. It's not just Momoga. Oh, YouTube is telling me they will automatically run an ad in about 10 seconds. So you people enjoy that unless you've got YouTube Premium. I am going to start pulling up our second phase, which will be Dream Mirror. So, Plunder Patrol, a popular archetype that people like. Dream Mirror, an unpopular bad archetype I don't know if anybody likes.
Yeah, the only good solo mode gate was getting branded Dream Mirror.
I don't even think the branded Dream Mirror was that... Well, it gave you competitive cards, but they also built that extra deck really badly.
Yeah, I know, but still, I'm just saying.
So... Okay.
Fuck you, Sunrise.
Let's see. YouTube may or may not be running that ad. Anyway, Dream Mirror.
Yes, Kirby in the Dream Mirror.
How many Dream Mirror cards are there?
I think 10 total.
Yeah, there's
Dream and Fiend.
So, we should say this. Dream Mirror aesthetically should be an interesting archetype. They're basically a chaos archetype. They are lights and darks. Literally, they are split. We are going to see 2 versions of every card because they have a dark and a light version. In fact, I'll probably pull up both of the card arts at the same time.
Oh god, this reminds me of the thing I think I brought once, where it's like Dream Mirror feels like an archetype that, if we could, this feels like an archetype where they should just be double-sided cards.
I mean, I actually think that would hurt the archetype because they are the only way they're ever going to do anything good is if you get multiple materials on the field. So, like, they are built around tagging in and out. So, while that could be interesting to actually make them like double-sided cards and flip them, that would probably be problematic for how they're designed to work because it would, it would mean you could put less cards in your deck, which would be bad.
Yeah, I know from playing the Master Dual Silicate of these cards, I kept banishing my field so these like, ooh, click.
Yeah, no.
Button.
I think before we talk about any of their fucking monstos, we have to talk about the 2 mirrors. The titular Dream Mirrors. Because that's how they work. So
I would just like to have a brief interruption. Hero decks suck ass. Fucking hell. All the Neos hero support is awful. And by that I mean good. I hate going up against it because it's always the same thing. It's always Elemental Hero Sunrise, Dark Law, Rainbow Neos, die.
Yeah, they gave some heroes some real turbo shit. The Dark Law part's annoying. I've been members of some Dark Law. Well, yeah, but you can work around him because you're still allowed to play the game. You just got to get rid of him. Dark Law is like, hey, you're being macrocosmos. Also, don't add anything to your hand, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
He just Dark Law just holds a gun to your head and says, "Do it. I dare you. I double dog dare you."
I can picture that.
So we have 2 Mirrors. The Dream Mirror of Joy and the Dream Mirror of Terror. I think that might be why, by the way, people want... Whoops. I slipped some stuff off there. Let me make sure.
Oh, look at that. They're mirrored.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like that meme image of 2 paths.
But I think the reason why people want this archetype to be good is because other than it's full of their boss monsters are quote unquote hot boys. To channel the power of the internet there. These cards are also, especially the dark ones, really try hard and edgy. So I think people want them to be cool. They're not cool. I'm sorry, they aren't cool. If you like Dream Mirror, I apologize. But as Red Eyes' strongest soldier, I know a bad archetype when I see it. Thankfully, Red Eyes stands are eating good because Crossduel revealed that Red Eyes Black Dragon is actually a cute tanned girl, so we're fucking lifting, brothers. Now give me an entire archetype based on that 1 card art, please. Give me the Eyes of Blue support.
The red, Eyes of Red support.
No.
God, can you imagine if
Instead of-
if they just ripped off all Maiden and put her in Red Eyes?
Actually,
You know,
actually,
Here's an archetype I want them just to really bring from the anime is Clear World, just every Clear World card.
Ugh.
What,
Aren't the clear worlds that
what they
exist
should
kind of
do?
obnoxious? Well,
Eyes
if you
of
give them an
Red is
archetype.
just a tribal Amazonian-like deck to really go with the Joey Valentine theme.
I was thinking not just Eyes of Red. I was thinking like Armored in Red or something, or like something that's like
I mean,
not
technically
directly...
you could. Actually, I don't know if I think there are other cards that are of red because
They could be
Lord
the
of Red
Knights
exists
as
and is
well.
not a Red
Or
Eyes
I
card.
guess,
It's one of his problems. Red
you
Eyes'
could do
primary
Red.
problem is that they have like 4 boss monsters that aren't Red Eyes cards, like Archfiend
Yeah.
Black Skull Dragon, regular Black Skull Dragon. Meteor Black Comet Dragon is not Red Eye. This is why Red Eyes Fusion makes your fusion monster count as Red Eyes Black Dragon because none of their boss monsters are Red Eyes. It sucks. It sucks a lot. Konami might be finally pulling their head out of their ass with Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon and Red Eyes Soul and shit, but it still is bad. Anyway,
I'm surprised there isn't as many Kirby references. In Dream Mirror, I should say.
yeah, there's a very limited number of monsters.
Right, the one Kirby game
Here.
had Mirror in its name.
Yeah,
Here,
Dream
chat.
Mirror.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go, chat.
Yeah!
You know, she reminds me of oh my god, it reminds me of that manga about that like I think an Egyptian goddess that was like I can't win at anything or something.
Eh.
I don't know why, but it reminds me of that.
But anyway, to actually talk about Dream Mirrors. So Dream Mirrors have a two-sided effect. They flip back and forth, literally, because they've got the 2 mirrors, and I'll explain their effects in a second. But one of their primary effects is in the end phase, either mirror can banish itself to get the other mirror. By the way, that effect is only hopped one way, so you can banish, activate, then banish again. Don't do that. But you can. You are legally allowed to do that.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
just be
are
mindful.
they a
of the
world premiere
clicks.
archetype? Yes, this is a world premiere archetype. This is a TCG original. So that explains why it sucks. I guess the question is why is the OCG never broken this archetype like a Twix bar, but like a Kit Kat?
I guess we
Snickers.
can talk about. Eventually, we could probably later. I guess a little bit later talk about how they could make it good, but I don't.
I don't know how they could make it good
We'll
because
figure
there's
it out when we get
this.
to the cards.
I don't know if we'll figure it out. Also, I'll be honest,
what?
I don't really care.
What else?
I'm not talking about this archetype because I give a shit. I talk about this because they made a solo mode about it, and it was incredibly funny because it had the most generic ass lore. You're dreaming.
Oh,
Sometimes
right.
dreams are good, and sometimes dreams are bad. And you
This
were
is
gonna
sad.
dream the whole time.
That's
What?
fucking sad.
What? I don't know. Listen.
Right.
Sometimes they don't try very hard. The story of the Rika solo mode, not very deep. They're just
snowdrop pixies,
snowdrop.
aren't
Yeah, they're
they?
snowdrop fairies. The actual decks though, the solo mode was cool. You can watch me play through the whole thing on last week's bonus stream on Thursday. Check it out. Anyway, so both of the field spells have the ability to banish themselves during the end phase, and then Joy's effect is Dream Mirror monsters you control can't be targeted by your opponent's control effects, card effects, their monster attacks, except your Dream Mirror with the highest level. This is only applied while you control a light Dream Mirror monster. So Joy gives you protection while you have a light mirror, or a light monster. Terror does 300 damage each time your opponent special summons, while you have a dark monster on board. So it's just a, chain energy, Trickstar, light stage type effect. I mean, no, not every deck needs to be like World Legacy, but if you're going to make a solo mode for an archetype, I would like either the card and decks to be interesting or the lore to be interesting.
At least in Plunder Patrol, it was like a roll call, but like it actually had a nice like tone to it.
Yeah, it was thematic, and they at least introduced everybody and talked about what they do. And Plunder does actually have some interesting variants. Was that in Discord where Marth posted that list? Yeah.
Like, Can you just imagine, like, here's your archetype for Fallen of Albaz. Here's Albaz, and that's the law. You don't get. That's the only thing.
Oh
you
yeah,
get.
that's
You
another
play
thing.
the
I
duels
forgot to
and
mention this while
everything.
Plunder was good. Plunder Adventurer, also called Plunder Brave, was very popular because you don't actually need your normal summon in Plunder most of the time if you get the right
Yeah.
cards. So
I looked at the list, it was pretty much just 2 plunder cards. Actually, no, 3.
yeah, I don't know about that one topping, but I believe typically you play a few more Plunder cards than
But that was the first place regional one.
But yeah, in case you can't tell, for the most part, Terror, way better. Like, Joy gives you protection, obviously, from, like, attacks and stuff, but it only protects your lowest level monsters. And keep in mind, it's your Dream Mirror monsters with the highest level, so if you're tied with 2 little weenie monsters, they're not protected. Whereas Terror actually does something. But we're going to start running through the line of the actual monstos now. And again, give me a sec while I pull up both versions, because there's really no reason to not show the 2 of them, together. As I melt here. I think this is a little better a draw.
Can I Gamma Seal twice in one turn?
Does Gamma still say its summon is once per turn?
Doesn't say it. I'm gonna attempt it.
I mean, everybody can only control 1 kaiju, so if your first Gamma Seal is not on a board, but yeah, you can.
I can.
Yeah,
That's
you can trigger it
BM.
again.
So, Omega, I have a brief question for you.
Yeah.
You've seen Demon Slayer, right?
No.
Okay.
Just hard shut down on that topic.
Yeah.
All right.
Never seen that either, so...
The point is just like the one on the left just reminds me. Literally looks like just if a character from that series was just spliced with an elf.
I think
She's
I've
not
seen
an elf. They don't have pointy ears. What's wrong with you?
I've seen horny art of that character.
Oh my god. These fucking things are too huge. Get smaller. Alright, you lose some of the detail there, but that's the important point. So, this is Ikelos, the Dream Mirror Sprite, and the Dream Mirror Mara.
I'll be right back.
He'll be right back. So I have organized these by their levels, so you have the smallest one first.
Right, these are the...
So, light and dark. And you can see the reverse image, image, reverse image in the 2 mirrors. They got the weird sparklies over all of them.
Just to... Yeah, I got sparklies. I would say the one to the right looks better.
I would say the one to the left looks better because it looks like it actually has it's kind of more coherent. Alright, just kind of, I don't really know what they're going for.
I mean, I don't know when either of these does this. I don't know what we're going for.
Like, the one left just looks like a random pixie, I guess.
Yes, that's the point. They all look random.
Yeah.
What I was gonna get at, I have no strong opinion on either side of this picture. They are both just generic anime woman number 420.
Right. That mean, well,
like
pick
they've
the difference.
They've got the thematic mirror effect. You can tell that, hey, the Joy side has lots of greens and yellows, and the other side, the Terror side, likes purple. That's about it. She's got a green, she's got a blue rock, and she's got a red rock. So there's more about these characters' parallels than their overall thematics. Because guess what? Other than this giant mirror thing behind them, I don't think, because I have looked at all these cards, obviously, when I built this list. I don't think that these 2 ladies, really look anything much like any of the other Dream Mirror cards, other than I'm pretty sure there are going to be some more scythes on the dark side. For some reason.
It is really just like it's like a mutation of her staff. And they got the same face and same kind of eyes.
Well, yeah, I mean, they literally have the same name, so.
She's also got like a slight tan on the right, on like the dark side.
Yes, she's darker skinned. Yeah.
She just makes you think of like a void scent.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just having fun at this this duel I'm having.
Well, I should hope
Because
you
it's
have
an all-ice
fun.
mirror match.
Ikelios, by the way, is just one of the classical deities associated with dreams. That's what all of them are called. It's a whole thing. It is. Let me actually check, because I don't know if Ikelios was. No? Okay, so it's very funny. Ikelios, you know, you've got the two. Oh, that's the trivia for Sprite. I don't want that one. I need the trivia for fucking Mara. Because I was going to say was, you know, it's funny. In the TCG, they went with Mara, probably referencing the Buddhist concept associated with, you know, demons, illusions, etc. In the OCG, which came later, like I said, this is a world premiere archetype. She is called, you know, Yume Makyo no Muma. Succubus of the Dream Magic Mirror. So the Japanese went very hardcore on the double occult. They decided to double it up.
Right.
But Sprite, because again, they're literally both Ikelios. Sprite is or either I should say, they are both level 1 fairies with different attributes. So, you know, one is light, one is dark. Sprite has 0 attack, 500 defense. Mara has 500 attack, 0 defense. Back and forth and roundabout. Light's effect is, if this card is special summoned by the effect of a Dream Mirror monster, add a Dream Mirror card from your deck to your hand, except Ikelios, the Dream Mirror Sprite. During your main or battle phase, if a Dream Mirror of Terror is in a field zone, this is actually their funny thing, is they just have to let you have a field zone. So they just have to be on the field. This was where I think one of the reasons why the solo mode was so bad was because the way Dream Mirrors play, mirror matches are insufferable. And hey, solo modes are nothing but mirror matches.
Ugh.
So, but basically, if you have the Dark Mirror on your board, you contribute Sprite to summon Mara exactly from your deck. You can only use this effect of Sprite once per turn. Mara's effect is when special summoned by a Dream Mirror monster, special summon a Dream Mirror from your hand, except Mara. And then if you have a Light Mirror on the field, you contribute it to summon Sprite. So that's basically what they do. If they are summoned by a Dream Mirror monster's effect, they do something. And if you have the opposite mirror, you contribute them to summon the opposite attribute. Everybody got that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you really... You probably play a couple of the Ikelioses. I would assume more Mara than Sprite. Well, actually, I don't know. Sprite searches, but Mara specials. Oh,
Honestly...
God. What the fuck is happening with my clipboard?
I feel like the mechanic gives the idea that one Dream Mirror like monster holds the mirror, and then one jumps through it so that he's attribute itself to get the other one.
But the mirror's on the field.
They're gonna blue Skidoo that way away?
Alright.
Okay.
No, that's the fucking database. That doesn't help me.
Nope. You are showing up. It is the Dallas.
Oh, Dallas missed the
Alright.
fun archetype.
Oh, what did I miss?
You missed
Plunder.
the plunder.
Oh, we're doing Dream Mirror now?
Now we're talking about Dream Mirror, a bad archetype.
I mean, to be fair to Dream Mirror, artistic-wise, I really like this archetype.
They do have some clean lines. Right now, because we're just on the 2 level 1s, and I have to say, with unfortunately with Wikipedia being down, doing this double up shit is really hard.
Yes.
Because I have
sorry,
to like
quick
have
thing.
multiple fucking tabs of the Yu-Gi-Oh Wikia
I have to
fucking
get
what I
going
want.
now.
Okay.
Appointment.
All right. Well, tag in Dallas and we'll keep going.
Yep. Love you guys. Take care. Have a good one, chat.
so that's this one. But just looking at the first two, I don't think we get a good grasp of their aesthetics, so there's not much to say there. But as we go on, I think they have some higher quality renders that are interesting. But Dallas might also be biased because, as I said, there are a lot of uwu soft boys in Dream Mirror.
Dallas is, if not anything, easy to bribe.
I mean,
I was just gonna say consistent.
I don't think Dallas is consistent.
For me, it's to be serious for a moment. This reminds me of like more of my favorite like kind of manga style. Like it's very shoujo manga-esque, but like in a good way.
It kind of, at least the first
like
one reminds me
90s
of like.
shoujo manga is the best.
It reminds
way
me
I
of
can
like
describe it.
Magus Bride briefly, but I don't Magus Bride that
That's
well.
fair. That's a fair
I mean,
one.
that is
I was
that is
thinking
also
like
arguable in that respect.
Oh god, what's the?
I think that
Magical Knight
especially
Rare,
the light ones and some of the dark ones, but especially the light ones, do have very soft lines and color palettes.
It's the color palettes for both of them actually that do it for me. It's very
It's gonna
much
be
the
because I have to deal with deviant art images which are blown up to like giant ass sizes. They're trying to make whole ass YouTube thumbnails out of this. This is going to be hard to put two on the screen. Because remember, Wikipedia's exploded. I don't have access to the Master Duel scrapes.
So this one is just. Is it the new one? I can never remember.
I don't know. This is Neroi. I don't remember if Neroi's newer. Let me double check. Yes,
'Cause
this
I know
came
there's
out
one
a
that's
couple
newer.
years ago. This was in Blazing Vortex, or at least the light
Yeah,
one
I thought so.
was.
Because this one is like it's one of them. You see it a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like, oh, this does a bunch of things.
It's the emergency cast and surgery
It's the
card.
bending
And
card.
the second
was
one,
surgery.
Neroi, the Dark Neroi, only came out about a year ago in Battle of Chaos. So yeah, this was the OCG's umpteenth time attempt to push this archetype, and it didn't really do a lot. The two Nerois, I don't think anybody was really repping Dream Mirror after that.
I mean, it's. Dream Mirror is. I don't think it's a bad archetype.
I
It's
mean, I will say
definitely, like,
this: Dream Mirror is not a non-functional
It's a
archetype. Dream Mirror does stuff. Dream Mirror does a lot of stuff, actually. The problem is that even after all of this stuff they do, Dream Mirror's game plan doesn't really do enough for you to actually win a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or at least not any easier than any of the other archetypes that don't require you to draw very, very specific support cards to set up.
To I guess play devil's advocate. I'm not saying they're like great or anything, but if I saw someone playing Dream Mirror, I wouldn't think they were like, I don't know, brain damage or something. Like, if we're putting archetypes into a tier list, to me this one goes in the C tier.
To me, it's like it's not bad, but it fights itself on being effective.
No, that's not it. Fucking. Here it is. Chrome, I want my top decks.
Like, the thing is, like, I've seen this deck do things and compete with archetypes that are better than it.
Okay, well, not in a tournament sense.
No, not in a tournament sense. But then again, Omega, not to be too mean, but that is 90% of archetypes.
I don't know if it is actually 90. I'd have to actually run the numbers.
It's a lot.
I mean, if you want to say if your C argument is like it is on the average or the below average, you know, most decks. There's an equal number of decks that lose to this versus win versus this. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this deck is like, this has a functional game plan. There is a strategy. If the strategy goes off, hypothetically, you could win.
The problem is that, like I said, I played through the whole solo mode, so I, experienced this deck firsthand, both pure and with variants. Though I will admit, dogshit variants. I talked about this before. They tried to give you, I don't even know if I would call it branded Dream Mirror, because it felt more like Despia Dream Mirror, because they really fucked the extra deck up.
Yeah, it's Despia.
But, an effort was made, at least, to try and come up with what would be a meta relevant.
That in itself is a problem, because I feel like this is one of those archetypes that is very much oh, how do I put this? It's a very much an Apple style archetype in that it does not work well with others.
I mean, actually, I think it can work a little with others. It's not like, because you missed the part where we talked about Plunder Patrol. Plunder is a literal xenophobic archetype. Almost all of their extenders say you're locked into Plunders.
That's why I call it, like, the Apple style, as opposed to, like, I mean, you can make it, like, there are very frequently a lot of cards splashed into Dream Mirror that are not Dream Mirror. But it's not, like, full-on archetypes, unless you want to count Chaos as an archetype.
And I mean, you can, because they've added more Chaos support, but... And I think that's kind of the thing that in my mind that comes up is I feel like if you're building a light and dark deck, like... Konami was printing, you know, new Chaos Synchro monsters and fucking Bestials and stuff around the same time, like they were, like... Let's see. The Dark Nehru was, like, early 2022, so that would be right around when they were, like, Bestials would have existed. So, like, here's the thing. For as many Dream Mirror cards as they've printed, I don't think that they've really given... like I said, I don't want to say... Because if I say that this deck doesn't do anything and doesn't have a plan, that is technically wrong. This deck absolutely has stuff it wants to do. The problem is that the way it gets to the stuff it wants to do is usually pretty narrow. It doesn't have a lot of flexibility. Spoilers, you really want the trap card Hypnagogia because that blocks up your opponent's field zone and puts both mirrors on the field so you can do everything.
Like, honestly, it feels like a situation of being like, they want to do a thing, but they keep tripping of their own damn mirror.
It's not...
You
that.
insist
It's
about
just,
the tripping. I don't actually think Dream Mirror gets in its own way. The problem is Dream Mirror has a very, very straight line, a very linear play style that is not very flexible and thus makes it very easy to lose to outs.
This is why I call it a C-tier deck, Omega, is because it falls into what I would call like a C-tier trap, which is, oh, I have opened the duel and I have not drawn a very specific card or combination of the cards. Well, I guess I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because a lot of archetypes have
and
that
I think that there are archetypes... I mean, yeah, I was going to actually compare playing a deck I know to be bad, quote-unquote, but there were certainly hands in the Legacy Festival where I bricked in Red Eyes. Red Eyes is also really good at unbricking itself, though, because... a lot of anime decks have this weird combo where, like, they're super pushed by late-game support, which is fucking crazy, and then you've got a lot of dead cards. That's Red Eyes' problem. You have a lot of junk because Konami didn't know what the fuck they were doing with the archetype. But then you've got cards like Red Eyes Insight, which is just the absolute most bonkers card ever. Pitch a Red Eyes from your deck to the graveyard, add any Red Eyes card you like. Or cards from the Red Stone. Discard a level 7 Red Eyes from your hand. Draw 2. Also, do you want to discard a Red Eyes from your deck to the graveyard? Just give them an archetype, a searchable Dragon's Mirror, and this deck is cracked. Yeah. Anyway,
I also
Dream
think
Mirror.
For Dream Mirror, the other biggest problem with this deck is its payoff isn't actually that strong.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They have a lot of action, but neither of their boss monsters are, like, actually game-winning. Even if you get both out, I don't think that's necessarily a win.
That's the biggest problem, is it like...
As we like to say, they're a very fair and balanced archetype. They don't have a lot of, like, super floodgate cards. They don't have, like, super mega tower bosses. They technically have some annoying burn strategies, but, like, there's not a lot of stun. They just, like I said, they have a very specific game plan. You go into the certain cards. If you don't have them,
also,
you don't
I
have
want to personally call out MBT Yu-Gi-Oh! Because he's an insane person.
This is known.
Because I'm sorry, I can't let this go. It was on the whatchamacallit, Magical Hats about floodgates. Comparing towers to a floodgate is so stupid.
I mean, it depends on the context of the towers. The actual Cleafort Towers is like really good.
Comparing a rival Cybers to a floodgate is stupid for one very specific reason. The reason most people hate floodgates, I think it's fair to say, is they slow the game down and make nothing happen. Correct?
Yeah.
Is that
yes.
fair?
Yeah.
If you can't deal
Don't know
with
why
the
you're
arrival
kidding me,
Cyberus
right?
literally in one turn, you're just dead. It has 5,000 attack.
I don't. Yeah. I don't.
I've seen people last
combat
few
will.
turns of it, but
MBT. Okay. No. I will say one more point about the arrival Cyberus, and then we are not mentioning that card again. I don't want to get derailed.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I don't know why, but MBT has a B in his bonnet about Arrival Cyberus, and I don't know why. He shouldn't, because he plays Math Mech, which has to end on Arrival Cyberus. Or Access Code Talker, because you never make Final Sigma and win, even though that card is also a Towers and really annoying. That's just, like, I've heard him say that a couple of times. I don't actually think Arrival Cyberus is a real problem. If people are upset, they're upset at Ad Ignister deck specifically because that is a solitaire deck. If you don't have any interruption, Ad Ignister just literally summons 5 guys and makes, or 6 guys technically, and makes a big asshole you gotta out. That's it.
I mean, Omega, I'll be very fair. Most modern Yu-Gi-Oh decks play like solitaire.
Not all of them.
I said most. That's why I said most. It's not all, but it's like Adamancipator is just solitaire as well.
Who you see playing on Emancipator?
It's like the 3rd ranked deck in Master Duel right now.
Master Duel rankings are fake.
No, I've seen it a lot in Master Duel, actually.
Yeah,
I've seen
but
it more than
that
pure Sprite.
Dallas,
so.
you should know this. You're in social sciences. That's called an anecdote.
Right. No, it is
That doesn't
anecdotal
count.
evidence, and as has been previously
Because
established,
I don't see,
my
as a
ladder
former
system-
Adamancipator main, that was my first Master Duel deck. I don't see fucking anybody playing this shit. Like, the shit I see is weird shit. I was just talking about how I was playing Ladder the other day, and I fought a guy playing the Tri-Brigade version of Sprite, which I'm
gonna murder Ex's sister. I fucking hate that deck.
Wow, you're such a baby.
No,
Literal
it's just
9th best deck. Stop moving cards out of your graveyard, Dallas.
just don't be a coughing
It's
baby.
that easy.
But literally everything that... Oh no, it's not the graveyard one that actually pisses me off that much. It's the, oh God, what the... I think it's called, like, Magnifica?
Yeah. What about Magnifica?
It's just annoying.
Yeah, but Dallas, you understand that unless you do something with your graveyard, they can't make that card, right? You need to let them have 2 rank 4s and then rank over it.
It's true.
Other than it's just a more complicated. What's the fucking something teller? I don't remember the number of letters in front of it. That is a quick effect bounce.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what this is. It's just, quick effect, banish, detach 1, banish a card. That
Also,
said,
I'm gonna
I
be
personally, in general, I think there are a lot of mistakes with Xyz material design. I think Konami should never have allowed any...
Zeus?
Yeah, no. Zeus doesn't matter. Zodiacs actually were a mistake, period. Any kind of infinitely stacking Xyz is dumb.
Mistake, but,
I don't actually have any... If you could...
The other reason I dislike it is just because of Zeus.
Well, yeah, because they make Xyz. I don't have any problem with Zeus as it is. I have a problem that there's way too many cards that let you
stack on top of each other.
Yeah, that let you stack. Like, obviously, there's the Downward Magician line, but I've seen way too many people just go, yeah, Zodiac. I'm gonna summon one of every Zodiac monster and make a 10-mat Zeus, and I'm like, okay, I give up because you can destroy everything forever. Why the fuck is this a mechanic? Why aren't all of these cards? That's something I think I want to say before we move on to actually this Dream Mirror deck, because we haven't talked about Nere at all. We haven't even talked about his card arts, one of which includes Tum, one of which does not. But I wish Konami, when they realize that just an archetype's mechanics are bad for the game, ban all those cards. Fuck them all. It's not just Dryden. We should just not allow the Zodiac thing to exist, because it only causes problems. It will never not cause problems.
I just think that, weirdly enough, Xyz is the weirdly easiest to break mechanic.
Isn't Xyz the one that still has the most banned cards on the list?
I think it might still be Synchros, but it's either Synchro or Xe.
It's a close between the two. Like, Xyz is a front runner. It's not Link's, despite what you may think. Though part of that is just because Konami doesn't.
If you count tuners, it's Synchro, and if you don't count tuners, it's Xe.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. It's not actually Link, even though there are a decent number of Link monsters. It's just that...
No, and most of the band Link monsters were printed within the, like, first year of Link's.
It's just that Konami didn't understand how to make Link monsters, and also, let's be real, they left a lot of Link monsters unbanned for a long time.
Well, let's be real. They thought we were going to be in. They thought people were just going to accept Master Rule 4, and that was just going to be how we played.
It was more the problem of that they should have made tokens not usable for Links.
Well, yeah, they just learned their lesson later, and they started printing Link cards that say X monsters accept tokens. See, that is at least a problem that Xyz doesn't have.
Oh no, it is Link actually.
Okay, Link did win out. All right.
Yeah, I'm. It's hard because some of the it's hard to tell exactly because a lot of the. Konami, please make cards' names shorter so they can fit on one line of text.
No.
It's true. It does. Well, actually, no. What they need to do is they need to make their table longer. Make your table cell longer.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have literally not mentioned Neyroi's card art at all. I think that means we don't have to. It's just a boy.
I enjoy this card art.
I really like. I really enough. I get Astolfo vibes from like the one on the left and the one on the right.
Well, yeah, he's soft and pink.
Well, I mean, he is a femboy, but I much more get, like... I don't know if this says something about me.
In the goofy smile, yeah.
I'm more get... Oh, no, I fully... That man is going to commit murder.
The eye style is different,
though. This man has murder in his eyes. I don't know why, but I get, like, creepy murder vibes from the white one.
He wants to keep you forever.
I mean, I don't...
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because of the blow-up that I then shrank, but he does have that weird light Neyroi, which is... What the fuck is his...
What?
Subtitle? Disciple.
No, Omega, you'll remember this. He reminds me of that chick with the scissors from Kill la Kill.
Oh,
or
yeah,
not scissors, Umbrella.
Yeah.
Rumi? Nue?
Yeah.
Nue.
Like, he has the same, like, I'm smiling, but really I want you
Well,
dead.
yeah, because like I said, I don't know if it's because of the shrinking compression, but notice that, like, it looks like the top eye is kind of shadowed and the bottom eye is in light. That's like a weird anime eye thing for, like, I'm gonna do a murder.
Yeah.
Whereas
on purpose.
Trader Neyroi just looks like a tryhard. He just looks like an edgy anime boy.
Just looks like he needs some Xanax.
Honestly, it's like, so we have, like, the evil shiny boy, and then we have the soft dark boy.
I mean, I don't know if he's soft. He's covered in leathers and belts. Basically,
I don't know if soft, but harmless might be the right way to put it.
Trader Neyroi.
Yeah, Oberon's another good shout. FGO Oberon.
Yeah. Well, also that works very well with like the names of these guys because dreams and shit. I also want to point out, I don't know why, but notice that between his two outfits, he's wearing two different types of shoes. Like he's got like bigger sandals on in this art, and he's got tiny sandals. Maybe that's why. That's why Sprite wants to kill.
Honestly. I think it's just the angle.
Nah, the proportions are different.
I think it's the same kind of shoe.
He also got into bondage when he was.
Well, yeah, that's a joke I was gonna make. You know, the trader wants you to know he's down to go clubbing. But yeah, so there's some decent variants. They've kind of discarded, like you can still see the mirror behind them, and then like kind of a cracked mirror effect here. Unlike Ikelios, they don't really have the literal mirror image effect. I also want to say this is a rare case where I would say that I think that the OCG names are slightly better. They make more sense. The light one is Apostle of the Dream Mirror Neyroi, and the dark one is Heretic of the Dream Mirror Neyroi, as opposed to Neyroi the Dream Mirror Trader and Neyroi the Dream Mirror Disciple. Maybe this is why nobody wants to play this deck. All of your monsters have a minimum 5-word name.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't ever play Dream Mirror rapidly in person because you have to say all your card names.
There's no shorthand.
Oh, me playing this in person would just be the funniest.
Well, also the fact that once again this deck has literal mirrored names. This card is one card is literally called Neyroi the Dream Mirror Disciple. The other is literally Neyroi the Dream Mirror Trader. They have the exact same name up to one word.
I guess you just
it
like
would be
Not
so
perfect, I
fucking
played
confusing.
Okay, so I play Disciple, then I do Traitor, unless those titles
No,
overlap.
I play Shiny Femboy and Emo Femboy.
Here, you can read the card again, or yeah.
But so
wanna
what we
read
do
these
here
cards.
is these are the level 3s. We're doing this in ascending level order because it's just easier that way. So light and dark fairies. The light one is they're both 1K 1K, so there's no like weird switching. One is a dark, and actually no, it's wrong. So Neroy the Traitor is a fiend, whereas Disciple is a fairy. I think both Achelios
Angel
were.
Demon, yeah.
Let me double check. No, okay, so Achelios is a dark fairy. Weird. They kind of switched it up a little. Anyway, this archetype doesn't actually gut check, I think, anything other than attributes usually, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah, it does not.
Light Neroy, which also came first, is if a Dream Mirror is on the field, you can special summon this card, and you can then make it dark. So that kind of explains, I think, also the Shadowed Eye and Shadowed Face effect, because he turns himself dark. He was the sus imposter the whole time. This card is special summoned by the effect of a Dream Mirror monster. You can activate this effect. If Joy is on the field, return a spell trap your opponent controls to the hand. If Terror is on the field, draw one card. So this clearly came out when Hypnagogia came out, so you can have both on the field at once. After Dream Mirror Terror is on the field, draw one, then shuffle one from your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So yeah, Light Neroy does like 4 things. He
What
has a
does
free
Hypnagogia even
special.
mean?
He switches to dark.
Hypnagogia.
Does that mean like
kind
is
of
it like
a
half
dream-
sleeping?
No, it's a dream state hallucination. Hypnagogic visions.
Hypnagogia refers to the state between wakefulness and sleep,
Okay.
specifically.
Yeah, but
Hypnagogic would be
specifically-
hallucinations be like sleep paralysis shit.
Yeah, but that's why the term hypnagogic was made.
Yeah.
It's a psychology term. I know this for once.
So, Light Neroy does a fuck ton. I believe he is pretty important to the deck. Because he can quote-unquote attribute fix and also lets you do shit. A bounce is not a spell trap bounce is not necessarily a bad effect. And then draw one, shuffle one back is not bad either because I believe most of their effects to tag out summon from deck, not from hand. I believe I remember that problem from the solo mode. So hand fixing, not bad. And then Traitor Neroy is if this card is normaled or specialed. That's right. It took them until 2022 to give them a good normal. Add Neroy the Dream Mirror Disciple from your deck to your hand. Then you can make this monster light. You can tribute one other Dream Mirror monster. Choose one Dream Mirror from your deck with a different level than the tributed monster. Add one Mirror of Joy or Mirror of Terror from your deck to your hand that is mentioned on that chosen monster. And then special summon the chosen monster in defense position. You only add one spec per turn. So Dark Neroy, also a mouthful, but basically he gives you a good normal, and he lets you tribute another Dream Mirror to search the other field spell and summon them, which procs their effects. Lots of big Band-Aid stuff.
So, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I had the joke of, so, I don't know how many times a magical femboy fixed an archetype, but it's happened more than once, I guess.
Has it?
I don't know, actually, is the bit.
Nah,
Also,
it's a bad
Omega,
joke. You have to
That's
have
fair.
2 nickels.
I need to
Or
tell
4.
a funny story. To
Go
you.
for it. I have to find the card arts for the next 2 because Wikipedia is
So
broken.
technically, in the most technical of ways ever,
This is where, okay.
Dream Mirror has placed in a tournament.
Oh,
Bottom-
right.
bottom 16?
Wasn't there? No. Wasn't there somebody
No.
running some Dream Mirrors in the extra deck as like a funny thing?
No. It's much funnier than that.
Oh no.
So, a mad lad, a Chad, as I would say, ran an entire Dream Mirror suite as his side deck, as a mask.
Okay, that was the other thing
In
I was gonna
Fluffle.
say. Was it? I think we told that on the Fluffle episode. Was it a side deck trick?
Yeah, God, I love.
And this
love-
and this
I
is
really
why
think
you should
like
be able
that.
to side deck in Master Duel because it's really funny.
Because side decking is hilarious.
It adds so many layers.
There's a
of
reason why the
bullshittery.
MCS allows side decking, even though Master Duel does not. Anyway, this is Phantasos. One is the Dream Mirror foe, one is the Dream Mirror friend. Can you guess which one is which?
So, I will say this. The one on the right, it reminds me of Purity. The one on the left, I want as a mount.
I know the split. I want the light one as a minion. I want the dark one as a mount.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, the dark one looks cuter.
It's kind of like gibbering.
Dallas would say that.
Whoa.
That's all I'll say.
Dude, normal dog has like serious like cocaine vibes. His eyes are wide.
Listen, if it's a minion, he's running around in circles all the time.
He's just a happy doggo.
Dog's eyes do not get that wide.
Well, he's a dream
Well,
dog.
it's a fantasy dog.
Dallas, dream logic.
It has feathers.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's a
It's so
feathered dog.
creepy. I'll take my 4-eyed doggo.
Yeah,
I'll take
that
the
one's
demon
melting.
dog.
I just
It
like
is
both
melting.
of them, that's all I can say.
So
No, I think
these
that-
are both
Oh my God, actually-
Phantasos. One is friend, one is foe.
I'm like, it just hit me. The one on the left, it's just a fucking Final Fantasy behemoth, but demonized.
I mean, kinda. Somebody did mention earlier this is a very Final Fantasy archetype, and I kind of agree for some of the card arts. Not all of them, but some of them have that.
It's very old Final Fantasy art-wise.
It's
like,
in
Yeah.
general,
Fantasy
it's a
2.
lot of like it's very anime-esque, but very throwback in that sense.
Oh yeah, this is very 90s anime.
Like
In a
it
good
is
way.
not. It is not like a modern, like you might expect. Oh, it's called Dream Mirror. Is it like a modern isekai type? No. This is not
This
adventure.
is like, I mean, technically, most of the anime I would compare this art style to are isekai. They're just from the 90s.
Yeah, it is not like a certain modern like light
This
novel
is
art style.
Yugi Rayarth type shit.
Oh yeah, Magic Knight Ray. I could totally see that. Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Phantasos is the Fours. Phantasos is another name of a god associated with dreams. Also, by the way, it's a very limited number, so I will just tell chat. But both of these guys, Beast Warriors. This dog is a man.
I think it's more of it's an animal that's also intelligent.
I'm telling you, the dog on the right is a skinwalker.
No, I think
It
it's
has
more.
human
no,
eyes.
Actually, wait, no, it's it can speak human languages.
I
You're
don't
gonna
think
be
that's the
walking in
barrier on
forest
Beast
with it,
Warrior.
and it's gonna say hi in your mom's voice and die.
What? That was you cut out there. What the fuck?
No.
I said you're gonna be
No
walking in
more.
the forest, and it's gonna say hi on your mom's voice, and then you're gonna die.
I like when I say no more, and Dallas just says whatever he's gonna say.
That's
That
what
was
he
a-
asked.
No, I was just saying one out of like shock. All right, Mark.
That's not Axe. Then you shouldn't fucking lie and say that he broke up. You said he cut out, which he did not, for me anyway, not for the stream, and then be like, at the end, be like, oh, well, I didn't actually not hear you. I just wanted you to say it again because I
Oh,
was
it's
confused.
not what I meant. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it was
My
just
brain.
done
Anyway.
with that whole thing.
These are the Fours. They're both Beast Warriors. One is light, one is dark. Friend has 900 attack, 1900 defense. Foe has 1900 attack, 900 defense. See how this works? And these are part of the original batch, I believe. No, okay. This was a little bit later in Chaos Impact. Were they both in Chaos Impact? Yes, thank
Which
God.
is funny because these cards are not great.
No, they do. That's why I was checking, because I was like, I believe these cards feel like first wave cards.
Oh, they do.
So, Friend, the light one, if this card's special summoned by a Dream Mirror monster, you can target one level 8 or lower Dream Mirror monster in your graveyard, except Friend, special summon it in defense position. During the main or battle phase, if a terror is in a field zone, tribute this card, special summon foe from your deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, Friend, bad. Yes, you can graveyard recover, but that requires you to have already successfully summoned and tributed guys. Considering this is one of the few ones you can normal summon, not great.
I wouldn't say he's bad.
I mean, he gets you to foe, which is not terrible, but his recovery effect is very limited. And like I said, there's a reason why I think why Dark Nayroy triggers on normal summon. Dream Mirror is really bad with normal summons for a long time.
No, yeah. The biggest issue, because like his recovery effect's actually great because of other cards in the archetype.
Well, it is true. It special summons it, so that means you immediately get to proc their effects. So
Yeah.
if you're playing like Foolish
actually
Burials and
very
stuff,
good.
it works. The problem is that we talked about this, right, with the way you go.
He's getting it special summons.
Your plays are usually pretty limited, so you have to do very straight lines. So actually getting friend out and then to special summon him and then tribute him is like very...
It's why drawing friend is very bad, but drawing foe is very good because it specials friend.
Also, foe is your only decent normal summon because it has 1900 attack at least.
Yeah, other than Emo Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, that guy didn't come out for a long time, so you really struggled with normal summons for a while. Foe's effect is if this card is special summoned by a Dream Mirror monster, it can attack directly this turn. That is useless.
Useless. That's the other reason it's a good normal, because it's
but
like, why the fuck?
When you contribute it to summon friend, which actually is useful. Because at the very least, that means that you can reset your foe if you have to. If you have nothing else, you can at least special summon him to get 2 and make a rank 4. And if not, you can actually like go places. So yeah, I should actually amend that. Friend is not. Friend is a bad normal summon. It is not a bad special. And then foe is basically the opposite. Foe is like one of your only good normals.
Yeah, friend is ironically probably one of the best in the deck. It just is one of those cards you hate to draw.
Yeah, because you want to special it, and also you have to have the graveyard set up to use it. So you don't want to just be, like you said, getting him willy nilly.
Which is actually pretty easy to do.
And then and then we skip straight to the. Do we? Are you correct? Yeah, we skip straight to the 8s.
Is the next.
That's right. The levels of these guys are all over the place. I feel like
2,
honestly,
3, 4,
I mean,
8.
I said earlier, Axe keeps talking about how they trip over themselves. I don't think in gameplay they do. I think in
design-wise, yes.
Yes, I think in Konami's design space, Dream Mirrors are kind of tripped up by the fact that Konami feels the need to make them symmetrical. So they have a lot of main deck and even extra deck. They have 2 different boss monsters. They have a lot of main deck names because every card is 2'd. That's not necessarily a good thing because that means that, like, they only have 2 4s, for instance. They only have, 2 1s. Neroy's a 3. So they don't have, like, a level 2 either yet. And we skip straight to 8s. Which is a big, burly.
And then technically 10.
Yeah. For the boss. But let me grab this one.
Morpheus.
Yeah. This is the White Knight. This is a, redraw scan on the internet, which is why I think his face is a little derpy.
This is just Siegfried.
Yes, if I look at a scan of the card art, his face is a lot sharper, so.
But also, this is just Siegfried from Soul Calibur.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is, but it's like, it feels like if you had a gacha game version where he had, like, extra armor bits added to him and shit.
And then...
I don't know, have you seen some of the,
I mean, he hasn't got like energy and wing pauldrons.
I don't know. Siegfried can have some pretty big shoulders.
I'm gonna copy and paste the image.
Anyway, this is Morpheus Black Knight and Morpheus White Knight. One of them says Milady, and I would like to point out that Black Knight has a supremely fucked hand.
Yeah,
I did not notice it before, but that's bad.
So this is stupid, but I kind of want that sword as a Dark Knight glamour.
Dallas, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying, this is just Siegfried and Nightmare. Like, I can't unsee
I mean, also, it's just, shit, I'm forgetting his name. Was it, no, that was the Dragoon. Who's, Cecil. Cecil from, Final Fantasy, who is a paladin and a Dark Knight.
It is just Cecil, honestly.
Yeah, no, like, it's that same shit. Like, again, we talked about how this is a very Final Fantasy archetype, right? This is literally just paladin Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit more than, it's not a cool Dark Knight, I'll be real. I think the
well, the artist was clearly doing something with this one because, again, look at his fucking hand. What is wrong with your bones? Don't go. No. Your bones. What happened to your bones?
Yeah, I'll say it. I think this is the weakest art of all of them.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think part of the reason why these are a little blurred is because. Oh no, this one was an ultra rare. So no, yeah, they are just the bad. This isn't like translating a secret rare. This is just where, like I said, some of the soft lines and like the blurriness of the face is because these are, like I said, these are scans that were redrawn.
Wait, could you move like the Dark Knight image a little over to the left? Like,
I mean, I can. There's really nothing to see there, buddy.
It's just being cut. I know, but if you can cut up at the edge, it's like hurting my eyes a bit.
I can't really
Get
tuck him too
stronger
much
eyes.
in. I think that's called get glasses. I can scooch them a little, but I've only got so much white space to play with.
It helps a bit. It just makes it easier for me to focus.
No, I mean find an enemy you have with strong eyes and tear them out.
I wish it worked like that, dude. It doesn't.
Okay, Itachi. We're doing our
No,
old
he
school
did that to
triad.
his friends. I said
But they were
enemy.
also his enemies, his frenemies. Naruto is weird. Let's not go into any further. Anyway, you've got Black Knight and White Knight. Their armors
There's a lot of
are
hate crimes
really
against
over-designed, but also really, like, they're...
But they're not. That's the thing. They're over-designed, but not.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They're over-designed in very specific areas. The shoulders, really, really intense. The leg pieces,
Oh my God, these
perfectly
are
normal.
This is just early WoW armor.
I mean, yeah,
was gonna say,
basically.
This is like theater or like ceremony armor shit.
Oh,
No,
Lotha
yeah,
showed up
that's
on
the
his
whole-
phone, and he's like, Ragnarok Online, look nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these are MMO because that's the whole joke about like old WoW armor. It's not that all of the armor was auspicious. It's that all the armor was normal, and then the shoulder pads are just dumb.
Fair.
Yeah, we've compared these arts to like 5 different things, but indeed, we're here. So let me grab.
All like online fantasy games.
Now we're doing the.
Well, we can talk about what they do. So they're both 8s. They're both warriors. One is light, one is dark. They actually have the switcheroo on the stats, as you'd expect. So, White Knight is 1,000 attack, 2,800 defense. Black Knight is 2,800 attack, 1,000 defense. You really want to summon one of them in attack mode to actually help you win the game, but it's hard sometimes. White Knight is, if special summoned by a Dream Mirror monster, you can activate this effect. This card can't be destroyed by battle this turn, or card effects this turn. During your main or battle phase, if Terror is on the field, you can tribute this card to summon Black Knight from your deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. So yeah, you'll notice with this first wave of cards, their initial cards, and then the second wave of support, they have this problem where they only swap to the specific other one. Whereas I believe Ikelios came a little later and can be any other one, or is it only the other Ikelios? Let me double check. It feels like a million years ago. Okay, no. So Ikelios is also new enough that it just swaps with Mara's. They just have other special summon effects, I think. But this is why both of the Neroses are written this way, because you need to be able to special summon monsters without their exact opposite. Like I said, very linear deck otherwise. But you can tribute to summon Dark Mirror or Dark Knight. And Black Knight's effect is when special summoned, you can target a monster or target a card, destroy it. Neither of these are really great. They're kind of clunky. They're very bricky, though admittedly they are 8s so that you can play trade-in and fucking get rid of them, which would help set up your friend plays.
That doesn't work when like half your other main deck monsters are not targets for trade.
I mean, you're probably playing, just for names, you're probably playing at least one White Knight and one Dark Knight. You could play like 2 trade-ins.
That's fair. I'm used to like a good for trading is usually like an 8 stack like Gimmick Puppet or Galaxy Eyes because it's like you at least have something.
I mean,
you always will
no.
pocket.
The main point is the reason why you play cards like Trade-ins, Sacred Sword, or like even cards of Consonance are, do you have a number of cards, a non-zero number of cards, preferably more than your copies of Trade-in, etc., that you can use to draw 2 that would be an absolute useless brick in your hand? Play Trade-in. Like, Dream Mirror doesn't go, isn't going to be upset if you put some guys in the graveyard, because you can get some of them back through some cards. I remember, at least from the solo mode, both of these guys feeling eminently useless. Because all White Knight Morpheus does is tank for like a turn. And then, yes, okay, if you actually get to special summon Black Knight, cool, he helps you win the game by like popping a card and doing stuff. But very often you will just have hard to draw on him, or he'll get popped back, or something else dumb will happen, and you'll just be like, well, shit, I only had 1 copy of that guy. What's that? My opponent played the Dream Mirror Continuous spell that makes all of your monsters gain attack while we have field spells? Literally, none of my monsters can overcome theirs. Cool matchup, Konami.
It's like
I
And
said this
also-
before. Much like Tier Element, Dream Mirror is insufferable in the mirror match, shocking nobody.
Oh yeah. I will still argue to the death. It's not as bad as Ghost Trick.
Probably not, because Ghost Trick is already a slow-ass deck. Like, technically, I think Dream Mirror is supposed to lean towards an OTK type strategy. You're supposed to, bounce or pop cards on your opponent's board, or fucking Dream Mirror foe direct attacks. You're supposed to, like, apply battle damage to your opponent and clear their board. So, at the very least, you're supposed to get big and win. Ghost Trick is a control deck, usually, with lots of, like, popping back and forth and chip damage. But yeah, so now we move on to their last two monsters. The Oneros. The Big Twinks.
Right.
Is there a Hypnos in this like archetype?
No, they have not used that name, actually, funnily enough.
I'm surprised. I guess that's what they call it if they made a link.
No, I mean, they also have,
Wow.
like... Axe, do you remember that part where I talked about how they have no good normal summons, and they have, like... The level count goes 1, 3, 4, 8 in the main deck. They don't... They don't need link monsters. At least I don't think they do. I don't know. Dallas knows a little bit more about this than I do, but, like... Dallas, do you think these guys need, like, a Link 2 or something? I think they just need some main deck monsters that don't suck butts.
The only thing I could possibly see them getting if they were to... Like I said, they either need starters or end thing.
Okay, so I can grab Oneros Earl King. It's going to be a little
Need, like,
large.
a
Let me
Link 5 or
resize.
something,
Yeah, it's
or
going to be
Link 4
fucking
or
huge.
something.
Guess what? The winking twink man it was on DeviantArt. I don't... For some reason, I can't find anybody who has done a full card art redraw of Tormentor, so we're probably going to have to get a little weird.
You might be able to, if you look the name, you might find it somewhere.
I mean, Axe, what do you
Let me
fucking
finish
think
the
I am doing?
Let me finish the sentence. Is it possible? Was it never posted on the organization
No.
article? No. Okay.
No, or if they did, it'll be an image of the card in Japanese or with a sample over it. No, I don't see that either. So,
Okay.
these guys are old, by the way. I mean, in compared to like Nerois, like Earl King is from 2019,
Oh, yeah, no.
and Tormentor I'm gonna assume is also from Chaos Impact. Though that does mean, by the way, that this deck. Oh no, okay, that's why he is from Blazing Vortex. So, these guys didn't have a boss monster when they launched. That was the second set, and they didn't get their dark boss monster until 2021. So he's newer.
I mean, to be fair, I think they were released, because I think the set before Chaos Impact was the first set they were in.
Yeah. I assume because it was a world premiere, they were back to back. Why do you keep showing me? I guess it's because they have the literal exact same name. But why do you keep showing me the other one? I'm literally not searching for that one. I will type in minus Earl King. Yeah, no, guys, you're just gonna have to deal with a bad scan because I'm gonna guess because Master Duel had come out not too long after this card did. Nobody ever cared to blow this asshole up. But full card art just doesn't exist without Yugipedia to scrape Master Duel. Because apparently they are literally the only ones who did that. This should teach the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community about preservation of knowledge.
Well, they tried, just then somehow they're never mind.
No, Axe. That's not how preservation of knowledge works. Keeping all your shit on one single server that's one website is not that. Everybody should have a copy of the image from Master Duel of this card art. That way this information is never lost. Anyway, you can't really see Tormentor really well, but he looks basically exactly like Earl King, but more try-hard and edgy.
I feel like Chris Egger kind of explains it. They are basically like the benevolent king that turns out to actually be the Dark Overlord in a magical anime.
I mean, probably, though if I remember the limited lore right, the idea is that Oneros is the boss of the dream world and he's supposed to be okay unless you're a bad person.
I had to jump through some hoops, but I managed to get a clear shot. of Tormentor.
Okay, we'll try it. Let's see how scaled this is. Yeah, it's a little smaller, but you did find one. But yeah, Google refused to spit out the image that I have just posted for some ungodly reason. Even when I was searching full art, and when I told them, no, I don't want fucking Earl King.
Yeah.
Thank you, Boolean search terms. Anyway, yeah, it's just like I said. Tormentor is just Earl King, but edgy.
Yeah. Edgy.
He's got an evil eye thing on his chest.
Honestly, it's more. I think it's more of the thing on his chest opens.
I mean, yeah, but it's still, he's got an evil eye thing on his chest.
Hmm.
It's an evil eye. There's a slit in it.
Yeah.
Okay, why did you fucking actually me? Anyway, he has like a weird silk wrap shawl thing as Earl King that goes away. But as Tormentor, he has an MMO ultimate boss attack. He's charging it up. He's gonna make a big orange line. You got to get out of it.
I don't think it's the. Yeah.
I mean, also, honestly, talking about final bosses, like final boss of a magical girl anime, this could also just be a final boss of a Final Fantasy.
True.
Like, we're missing a third form, which is somewhere in between these forms that's, like, really, really fucked up and monstrous, where, like, he turns into a snake that's also a tower of people, which is also a statue of God.
Actually, no. What about the one where he's merged with the mirror?
No, that's not weird
Okay.
enough.
Yeah, it's not weird enough. It's just
Like, but, yes, like, definitely
these guys are
I
level
really
10 fusions, I think.
Yeah, they're
maybe,
both
maybe
the
it's
extra
just me. I really do not like the dark art.
No, I don't
It's
know what
drawn
it
very
is.
Poor. I think it's the lightning over the art.
Yeah, I think it's
That
they
was
added
a
too many
mistake.
special effects. This is, keep in mind, the original one is from,
very
like I
good.
said, like 2019, and then the next one wasn't printed until 2021. If it's the same artist, they went too ham on the Photoshop effects, because, like, he's got his little
Oh,
beam
God.
thing charging up, and he's got all the little lightning glyphs and shit. He's glowing. Oh, and there's his weird shawl thing. It's down there. Where the fuck is this attached? Is it attached to his legs? Where's this go? What? I don't...
It's like on his hip armor. Weirdly.
No, that's just one of his powers. He can just control the shawl.
I guess it... Yeah, I think it's supposed to go back to attach to the back of his hip, but it doesn't show that part. It just disappears behind his double wings.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, I do not like the
No.
the dark art at all. It's really bad.
Yeah, Tormentor's kind of a goober. I mean, you know,
I
Earl
wouldn't
King
say
is a
it's
soft
bad,
boy
it's
woo.
just- Well, see, that's the thing. Once again, I get the because he's doing that specific type of wink. But if you look at his eyes are still like.
I mean, yeah, he's got the kind of anime eyes that have like the flick down, which makes you know that he's like evil.
Yeah, he's got the benevolent villain vibes going for him.
Well, they did
Oh,
call him
yeah.
Earl King, so
Yeah, just rise. What was it? Like that Sword Art Online villain, the like Wolf King guy.
there's all kinds of things. So we can talk about Earl King, which came first. Who, by the way, funnily enough, in Japanese was counted as Mara of the Dream Magic Mirror Neiros, instead of Oneros, the Dream Mirror Earl King. It's very funny, because they called the one that's called Mara in English Succubus. So both of them are dark fusions that are level 10. They're both 3k, 3k. Tormentor is a fiend. Oneros is a fairy, so they remembered to do the switch up. Both of them are two Dream Mirror monsters with different attributes as their fusion materials.
Also, Earl King is a light, not dark.
Yes, sorry. Earl King is the light. Tormentor's the dark.
Yeah.
Don't know if I said that wrong, but they, again,
You said two dark fusions.
yeah, sorry. They're both level 10. They're light and dark. Chat, you should understand what the fuck this archetype is and not listen to me because they're all named the goddamn same.
Very true.
I just can't.
Yeah.
I think this is why I don't like Dream Mirror. I think they're stupid and dumb because I do. It's because they have the most, like, asinine naming scheme, and it's just so hard to, like, think about these fucking cards because, I don't know, they decided
it's a cool
to, like...
idea and concept.
Yeah, they tried to do a cute trick, but when you're actually, like, when I'm trying to discuss this deck with people, it's like, okay, so you've got Onerous the Dream Mirror, but we're talking about the Earl King one, but not the Tormentor one. But they're both Oneros, and they both have similar stats, but not quite. Anyway.
Like, you could have even just called it, like, Fallen Oneros.
There's a lot simpler they could do this, but all
Nightmare,
of them have, like,
Dream,
super...
They could have called Dream Oneros and Nightmare Oneros. I don't know.
Yeah.
All of them have really expansive long names. Even the Japanese translations are bad. So, Earl King, when face up on the field, is also Dark Attribute. It's very funny. They get to be dual attribute. You can only use each of the following effects of Dream Mirror Earl King once per turn. If another monster you control is tributed, except during the damage step, target a card on the field, destroy it. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, special summon a Dream Mirror monster from your graveyard, except Earl King. So Earl King floats into any if you happen to have him in your graveyard, which you probably do because, you know, fusion materials. And when you tribute, which is your normal game plan, is to tribute as a quick effect to do the thing, which procs their effects, he also gets to be a pop. Because both of these are once per turn, I think this puts a pretty hefty cap on the power level. Remember, for a long time, this was their only boss monster. He's not that hard to make, but this doesn't really win you the game, right? He's just a 3k beater that once per turn, when you're doing your normal gameplay plan, does a pop. And he floats. So if your opponent removes him, you get some, return on your investment, which isn't bad. Good.
I think the only reason why I even used one of these cards was because it got over that annoying level 8 branded fusion.
Well, yeah, because 3k...
That's the one that actually decreased attack points to practically 0.
Yeah, Quiritus.
But, yeah.
Quiritus. Now, we get to talk about Despia in the year 2025.
Yep, Despia.
I mean, I think it's an okay boss monster. You can do some stuff with it.
It's all right. Like I said, I feel like it has limited utility because both of its effects are hopped. So there's no reason to make more than one.
I'll say that, yeah, no, that's true. And I'll say this, if it wasn't so goddamn easy to make, I agree that it's not great, but it's so easy.
Oh, no, yeah. I'll say that, and I said that before. It's very simple to make. It's not like a huge investment. The problem is that there's no reason to invest in multiples because both its effects are hopped, so you don't get double floats or double pops, right? So, and the actual ratio of Earl King winning you the game depends very heavily on your opponent's setup because there's a lot of stuff that can get around it. So Tormentor was, several years later, they had their chance to bring out a big one. It's just, any two with this different attributes the same. While face up, it's also light. So technically, I wasn't wrong. They are both dark, and they are both light.
That's
effect
true.
text. And Tormentor also has two hopped effects. When a monster effect is activated while terror on the field is quick effect, negate that effect. So it's a once per turn negate while you've got a Dream Mirror of Terror. If Joy is on the field, is in a field zone, you contribute this card to special summon Earl King from your extra deck in defense position. So even Tormentor knows that Earl King is cooler.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's not, like, once again, this archetype is very mediocre.
Yes, I think Tormentor gives you an archetype negate, especially in 2021. That was cool. Admittedly, it's only a monster negate, and it's only once per turn, but still, that gives you disruption, stops your opponent's plays.
Having a quick effect pop is also still pretty good. Because, once again, the reason I rate Oneros a little bit, or at least Succubus Oneros, is mostly because you can, all of the Dream Mirrors, or most of them at least, have their quick effect, or have their
tribute effect is quick
effects.
Yeah, so
you can do that as interruptions.
Yeah.
Which
and that works for some decks, yeah. And so Tormentor knows that Earl King is better because he can float if you have Joy. Yeah. I already mentioned Hypnagogia is like their actual like Band-Aid card problem. It's a trap card.
I don't think there's any cards worth talking about in terms of...
I mean, yeah, I just want to mention the effect of Hypnagogia is choose Dream Mirror of Joy and Terror from your hand and or deck. Place one in your field zone and one in your opponent's field zone face up. You can only activate once per turn. So that lets you get both on the board to do the thing. And then...
I think they
let
have
me
one of the
see.
best in-archetype fusion spell, personally.
Which one is that one? Chaos?
No, I think it's called, like, Fall Flash or something. Something stupid.
That card name does not exist.
Hold on, let me
Let's see.
get back to it, because it's the quick effect fusion spell.
Yeah, that's called Chaos. And was
Okay,
always
it's
called Chaos.
Chaos?
Yeah, Dream Mirror of
Alright.
Chaos. But is a quick play. Fusion someone, Dream Mirror, fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion material. If Joy is on the field, you can also use monster in your hand. If Terror is on your field, you can banish from your graveyard. You only activate Chaos once per turn. So Chaos is a quick play, and if you do the setup with like Hypnagogia or whatever,
It's field, graveyard, and hand, which
yes,
is you'd be surprised how rare that is.
on a quick play as well.
Because usually it is or.
Yes, but yeah, so it is a very refreshing and searchable, fusion spell. That's pretty good. You'd run that at 3x. Let's see. They do have an archetype Omni Negate. That's their Oniromancy. Activate one of these effects, and your opponent activates a spell trap card while Joy is on the field. Negate and destroy. If your opponent would special summon while you have Terror, negate and destroy. So it's a spell trap negate or a solemn warning, but only if you have both cards on the field. Let's see. Fantasy is a normal trap. If you control a Dream Mirror monster, target each of your... Okay, so Dream Mirror Fantasy is a card that just resets your banished mirrors, which is good because they banish themselves. And then, let's see, there's Recap and Phantasms. Phantasms is the continuous spell, which is, if this card is activated, add a Dream Mirror monster from your deck to your hand. If Joy is on the field, all monsters you control gain 500. If Terror is on the field, all your opponent's monsters lose 500.
I mean, the attack modulation is unimportant, but it is a tutor, so I'd run it.
I mean, depending on your matchup, no, it's not. Dallas, I lost so many games with a solo mode because my opponent activated Phantasms and I did not. Because
You know what? That's in that specific situation, that is very fair.
this is another reason why the mirror is miserable. But yes,
Yeah.
1k attack swing is nothing to sneeze at, but again, this is like, for a comparison of another card in a modern archetype, which is slightly better, it does have slightly more tournament representation. This is like playing Sunny Snitch in Live Twin. Yes, its continuous effect does something some of the time, but generally you play it just because it's a tutor. It's another searcher.
I would rank Live's Twin as probably like a B- deck, if I had to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think pure Live Twin has ever made Top Cut, but a lot of Live Twin variants have had tournament representation. It's a versatile package.
Very splashable.
Yeah. Which is weird because they have a couple of xenophobic type lockings if you're not careful. But they don't always have a bottleneck, so you can actually make it go around. And then let's see, Recap I think that card was newer. That was also in Blazing Vortex. That's another continuous trap card. If a Dream Mirror monster you control will be tributed, you can shuffle it to the deck instead of sending it to the graveyard. So, looking at it, what I think Dream Mirror's primary problem is they need more starters. They need more, like, good normal summons. They probably need, like, a couple of 2s to, like, get them started. Or 5s that have Sidra-type effects, Like I said, I think this deck is technically, like... You're either a control deck by playing interrupts on your opponent's turn, or you're an OTK deck and clear their board and kill them. So... Which are not necessarily mutually exclusive. You have a plan for going second and for going first. So, 5s with Sidra-type effects would not be bad either. Or 7s with Sidra effects if you're Kashtira. Lots of funny things going on there. But yeah.
God, I hate that archetype.
The other thing, I think, is they have a little bit... I feel like they have a little bit of a problem. Yeah, I'm seeing recommendations for their decks playing shit like Trap Trick, because you need it.
A lot of the Chaos ones run pretty well right now. So,
Yeah.
Like, Chaos Daedalus is a good one.
Yeah, there are Chaos monsters you can tuck in there, but, like, the main thing, I think, is a lot of their spell traps are cool, but a lot of them are traps that you need to set up. So, like Dallas said, and again, I have a little bit of experience with this deck and some variants because I played the solo mode. the way Dream Mirror works, I think I streamed it too, so you can probably see my suffering somewhere. The way Dream Mirror works is if you draw specific hands, you are fine. If you do not draw that specific hand, you are fucked.
Basically, draw the emo femboy and win. Or
Draw
not win,
your
but at
one
least
good
get to
normal
play your
summon
game.
or cry.
Or your
draw
continuous spell, which searches your one good normal summon.
Yeah, no. Like, that's kind of, I think, the thing is they have... And again, this is why I said they're very linear. They're very easy to break because it's very easy for your opponent to find the failure points and hit them.
I've had the dumbest and darkest thought ever of how I feel like you make a Dream Mirror deck in paper, and then you give it to people at locals as a test deck to see what they understand what is bad in Yu-Gi-Oh.
But it's not bad though. No. What you should actually do for really want me to be honest, give them Earth's Arctic, because that is the most hiddenly bad deck I've ever seen. Of a deck that
what set
good
is
on
Dune?
paper and then just doesn't work.
Is that our next core set?
Earth's Arctic I actually would consider a D-list deck.
Unfortunately.
That deck is awful.
Yeah, Ursartic is a deck that tried so hard to be good and just doesn't.
It just doesn't work. It at least Dream Mirror.
Well,
I
no.
have functionally been able
No.
to do the thing.
You can absolutely do the thing in Ursartic. The problem is that doesn't actually do anything. Like, they have two different synchros. Sorry, I'm running out of voice juice, chat. They have two different synchros, and neither of them, even though one of them is on your opponent's turn, negate all their monsters, they don't do it. They don't do the do.
It's so bad. Like, I know he's a pretty contentious figure, but there's a YouTuber that I do agree. The reason I call Earth's Arctic the worst deck isn't because it's like actually the worst deck. That's probably something that was released in Duel Masters or like really early Yu-Gi-Oh! The reason I call it the worst deck is I've never seen a deck that was tried so hard to make work and just didn't.
One of their cards says draw 7.
Well, Worms also did that. And does anyone play Worms?
No, Worms does not draw 7.
Yes, Worms is multiple turn.
Well,
Worm.
No, you don't draw.
Yeah, no. You can't draw 7 actually, Axe. That's just a lie.
Oh, okay.
You draw 5 at most.
Yeah, it's not.
Fair.
It's not how that.
Unless you're playing a Worm Mirror match.
Unless you put Worms on your opponent's side of the field.
No.
Yeah, during the end. Well, no, it's only cards you control.
Oh. Well,
WW Meteorite, for people who haven't read in a while, is change all face-down monsters on the field to face-up defense position. During the end phase of this turn, change all face-up light reptiles you control to face-down defense, then draw 1 card for each. After which, you can special summon a level 7 or higher light reptile monster from your deck. So technically, if you want to do your best, you're probably only drawing 4, because...
Could you put it in your EMZ? Or no?
No, because it's special summon from your deck.
But also, Axe, yes, Worms has had actual tournament.
Yeah, Worms was a good deck at its time.
Worms was 2 good cards with a deck around it.
True.
Fair.
I mean, there's a reason why we talk about WW Meteorite.
Yeah, well...
Okay, so Dune is Duelist Nexus, so that's going to have some Stardust shit. Also, they just announced, it just came over the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization wire, children, kids of all ages, people of the world. Rex Raptor support in the year of our Lord, Winged Dragon of Ra, 2023.
Oh, I need to read this dinosaur.
Oh, I'll pull this shit up on stream. We'll have a reaction stream. We're done with Dream Mirror.
Lord Dino.
My reaction is just goddamn
Wow,
it.
that first card's actually not bad. That's actually decent.
Okay, well, Axe, shut the fuck up until I can pull up the window.
Okay.
You're just talking about shit people can't see. Okay, hold on. Let me move the chat.
I've already seen it.
Ah,
I
fuck.
didn't know it was new.
I mean, it just the link was just posted, so you could only have seen it just now.
No, I saw it on the Master Duel meta website. I just didn't know it was that new. I saw it like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, yes, it is that new. So let's see. Your first card is King Rex, the twin-headed dragon. It's very funny because that was kind of Rex Raptor's thing. Also, this is the thing about Transcend Drake. Remember, the word for dinosaur in Japanese has Ryu, dragon, in it. Let's see. So we got a level 6 Earth Monster. He's got the stats of Twin-Handed King Rex, so he sucks. At least in that department. You can special summon with the first effect once per turn. You can release the second effect once per turn. Oh yeah, in the manga he was a level 6 effect. That's very funny.
Rex, he sucks.
So, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normaled or special, target a monster in the field with lower attack, then all attack of dinosaur monsters you control destroy it. Not great.
No.
I
This
thought
card's
that was-
awful.
It's
That's okay.
no, it isn't.
It's terrible. It's a targeting effect, and
I fucking fine.
No, Axe, why would it be good? Remember, Transcendrakes
It's a
are also
level
level 6.
monster.
But it specials himself.
Yeah, but only if you control no monsters. And he has no attack stats.
I'm gonna be honest. A Sidra that's weaker than Sidra is not very good.
Axe, I want to put this in perspective. I know why this... I mean, obviously, the original manga it's level 6 as well, so that works out for the funny nostalgia, haha. But, that's Transcendrake's thing, is being 6s and 12s. Those cards also all special summon themselves and fetch normal monsters, and they do a lot more pluses than this.
Okay.
This is not good.
Couple
Rex
monsters
King,
that's
King Rex the
1500
Dragon King is a level 9 dinosaur, 3200 attack, 1200. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can make a second attack. Turn this card with summon target or 2 monsters that destroy them. Nah, that's just
okay.
it's okay. It's just a kind of a crappier
The second
Ultimate
effect
Tyranno.
is okay. The first effect is actually useless.
Yeah, considering that I think all of the Tyrannos do that better.
Good, but yeah.
yeah, this is right. King Rex the Dragon King Rex. This is a crappier Black Tyranno.
Yeah, there are better
this is
Tyranno
bad.
cards.
This is bad.
But
Holy
we've
shit.
got Xyz Grenosaurus the Magic Head Cannon. Very funny.
They gave an upgrade to Granosaurus.
Yes, and it's a rank 4 Fire Dinosaur Xyz, which is actually a good slot. Its stats are a little
no.
weak. It's 22 2K,
I
but
mean,
it's
the original
generic.
Rank 3 wasn't the highest that it's
Oh, right, yeah.
But when a
This
dinosaur
card is
monster
awful.
your opponent controls by battle and sends to graveyard, detachable material to inflict 1,000. This card then gets 1,000. That's Granosaurus. If the Xyz card is destroyed, target and destroy, then inflict 1,000.
This card's awful.
That's okay.
No, I mean, no, it's not awful, Dallas, because dinosaurs like to destroy themselves. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's
this is
the reason
this is a card that pluses off being destroyed.
But here's Omega counterpoint. One, it's an extra deck slot. Are you really gonna waste an extra deck slot? Also, I'm gonna be very real. There are 2 other Fire Dinosaur rank 4 Xyz that I'm much more gonna summon over this.
Well, they required.
And let's see,
reptiles
continuous
material,
card.
No, they do not require reptiles materials. They require dinosaur. That's why they're good.
Yeah, I
That's
believe
why
all,
Dino Rabbit works.
I believe all the Evolzars are the extra deck ones
Dinosaurs.
are yeah, they're generic or
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
Grano just
Jurassic Park
Yeah.
or Jurassic Power is a continuous spell. You can use a third. All monsters gain 300. That's not really that useful. You can normal summon level 5 or higher dinosaur monsters without tributing. That might, with Transcendrake, that might actually matter.
Yeah.
You can send a
Yeah.
dinosaur monster from your
Oh.
hand or face up field to the graveyard. Add a
Oh,
dinosaur monster with
no.
1,200 from your
What?
hand deck
Oh
to your hand.
no, that's bad.
Actually,
Hold on, I need to check some defense point numbers.
so I just thought about it, like, weirdly enough, I know that the Red Power is designed where it's supposed to.
I mean,
it's supposed to
that
get you-
does make King Rex better because he is now normal summonable?
No, Normal Solo and 1900.
No, not the first one.
No.
That guy still sucks. He's bad.
Look,
Oh.
I
this
mean,
card might
I
get
guess
played.
he's technically better because he's a pop on normal. There's way better, funnier things to do with your normal summon.
Actually,
I meant
I'm
King
gonna
Rex the
say,
Dragon King.
This card might get played. It will have nothing to do with.
I was thinking you also could just normal summon Superconductor.
I can get
You can already
to...
special. No.
Well, yeah, but like
don't need
I think Jurassic Power will actually see play.
Oh yeah, no, because that fetches Baby, that fetches Anibidor and Archosaur. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that fetches all the
this.
searchers. Yeah. Does it search mains?
No. 12,000 defense exactly.
Yeah, 1,200 exact.
Oh,
1200
exactly.
exactly.
Never mind, it's trash.
So it can get
It's
Kaiju...
It searches. It searches the King Rexes.
Yeah, guess what? Other dinosaurs.
I'm
do
pretty
not
sure
have
there are
that.
others that it's gonna do. My main problem with Jurassic Power is it says send. Actually, there's a list of cards it searches. It says right
Giant
here.
Rex, which is
Crawling
okay.
Dragon number
What-
2, Doodle Beast Tyranno. I think there are actually some versions that play that. Giant Rex, Dolgodon, that's very funny. Hyper Hammerhead, Protopson, not really good. Sword Beast, Samurai Caviar Reptier, 2-headed King Rex, plus the 2 new King Rexes. I mean, I see
Yeah,
why
no,
it
that's
exists.
Not worth it.
It's not a great line. It's very funny,
No,
though.
that card's not going to see any play.
Though, I don't know. Like I said, I think Doodles were doing something. And then Transcendental Evolution Pill Beta. Normal spell, once per turn. Tribute 2 monsters from your hand or field, including at least 1 dinosaur monster. You cannot special summon from the extra deck for this turn, except for dragons, dinosaurs, sea serpents, and worms. Thank you, Transcend Drake. Special summon 1 level 5 or higher dinosaur from your deck or extra deck with attack higher than the tributed monster's total attack. So this is a Transcend Drake card. That's good. That's probably why it's called Transcend Drake.
Yeah, that card is good.
Yeah,
The rest of the 3 cards are useless.
Cheat owl stuff.
Yeah, I mean, technically, because the Transcend Drake stuff is 6 base, you might, but I think the Xyz is also not that great. The Xyz Transcend Drake is the weakest one.
Yeah.
I mean, it does double piercing. I don't know if it's the weakest one, but...
the fusion one's not great either.
I mean, it's cool. It's cool for them to remember Rex Raptor exists and, like, try and give him a deck line. This is, I think, worse than some of the bug shit we've gotten. It's not very strong.
No, this is some of the worst retrains I've ever seen.
Yeah, the bug ones were bad.
I mean, to be fair, Dallas, the original version was a vanilla level 4 with 1600 attack, so
that's fair.
There wasn't a lot to ask for. The Granosaurus is funny.
Omega counterpoint is Shizu.
Yeah, but also those guys. I mean, Axe kicked our ass with regular Mudora.
I forgot about that, but yeah,
it happened.
Fairies
Earth Fairy
have
was
never
a
been
thing.
bad. They've just been jank.
Earth Fairy was a thing.
Omega, that wasn't Mudora. Those are different cards.
You mean the?
No, I use base Medora to get like over hit for over 3K.
Right.
Yes, he used the combo with the oracles to go into Mudora.
I think there was also that card that just like, hey, I have 0 cards, 3K attack.
I mean, I was gonna bitch about like nostalgia wank, but this feels so pathetic. I don't even think it's worth bitching about.
If anything, I feel kind of. I mean, it's only like what 5 cards.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, it's 5 cards. One of which is actually useful. It feels it feels a little sad. I hope the TCG does the kind thing and makes these all like commons.
So here's my adage I always want to say about Yu-Gi-Oh! About how a card can be fair, but nowadays fair is just never good enough.
You like to say that over and over. It has nothing to do with
it's
fairness.
Not,
these don't.
You're wrong. You're incorrect.
These don't do enough
these
pluses.
Don't do anything. There's no situation where you would use these.
Axe, if you think these cards are so good, build this deck right now. Well, you can't actually because you can't be an EDO pro. But like seriously, it's not gonna do anything.
No, these cards are actively bad. I'll put it this way: if these cards were released in 2015, they would be bad.
I mean, the main thing I think is just the Super King Rex is like literally just a worse version of all the Tyrannos. Like you would not run that over Ultimate Conductor.
It's worse than Superconductor Tyranno, which is a card released in 2008.
I mean, compared to what the TCG did with the Gate Guardian cards, those aren't great either, but they have a very consistent game plan, which does things. I have actually done some, like, beta brewing. There's actually some shit you can get done there. Also, you can absolutely play Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars, because it's very funny. But, like...
realistically...
But not for cool cards.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem they're facing. I understand why these cards are so... unfortunately, Dinos are a legitimate deck, and I have a feeling Konami does not want a repeat of the Ishizu cards. And I don't think anyone wants a repeat of the Ishizu cards.
I don't know. It depends on how well that set sells. But no, yes, I feel like they've gone a little softball on those dinosaur cards because they are literally about to, because that's the same set that Vanquish Soul is in as Transcend Drake. They are literally about to release a dinosaur-themed archetype, which is generic dinosaur support that will be good.
And dinos aren't bad. Like,
yeah, dinos. I mean, I would say modern dinos are probably somewhere in the like 8th to 10th best deck.
I would say they're rogue easily.
They are playable, and you can probably scrape some wins at your locals. I just don't think
They've been rogue.
For instance, I don't think you see anybody play it in Master Duel because the deck is ancient and it doesn't have any new tech.
I don't think you'll see it play anyone in Master Duels because, weirdly enough, Dinosaur is a deck that loves match format.
Well, that's true. That's also, like, you can take special advantage of stuff. But, just in general, like, I know that Master Duel, like, strictly speaking, I don't think any of the cards, for instance, that are in, like, Dragon Link are banned or anything in Master Duel. But you don't see people usually trying to make Dragon Link, other than people will play Dragon Maid, because that is somehow still sometimes popular in the OCG. Even I, Dragon Maid's strongest soldier, am confused.
I understand why. It's fetish bait.
I mean, yes, but Dallas, why does it top? Because the literal difference between the lists in the OCG and the TCG is just you get 3 max C. That's the only difference.
I don't know, because the opponents are too horny to pay attention, I guess. I don't know.
Dallas, the opponents are 10 years old.
I'm not going to say what I thought. I'm not going to say what I thought.
Good.
I admit that was a little bit of a low and slow pitch to try and, like, hit Dallas in the knees. He was like, no, I'm not going to swing at that pitch. That's bad.
I mean, Dallas, you work with kids younger than that. It's fine.
It's not fine. It's double not fine, actually.
No,
That's the exact opposite of how that works.
Where are you going?
Stop going
Anyway,
where you're going.
I'm fucking
Can we
hot.
talk about terminal offering
okay.
before we go Can we talk about terminal offering before we go to vacuum controls?
I don't know what the fuck you're saying to me.
Terminal offering.
You're saying words. I don't know what that means.
He's saying Herbert or Burfering.
Terminal offering, which was the other one posted on. I'll find the link for you. It was posted earlier today at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, I don't give a shit. That card's whatever. It's like Magician of Faith.
Whatever. Yeah.
I have Versus Soul pulled up. They retrained Ultimate Offering to be balanced. Guess what? That means it's probably not very good. You can pay like 500 life points to normal summon in the middle of your opponent's phase. Cool. Flunder continues to be the 5th best deck.
Yeah, Flunder.
It's a continuous trap card that gives you 3 normal summons. That's cute, but doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, Flutter already has 3 summons.
Yes.
It's just hit me that they're Vanquish Souls, which means it's versus. It's like, I've gone fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's why it's abbreviated VS, Vanquish Souls. And yes, this is a literal fucking fighting game archetype.
Cool.
Yeah.
Versus.
I'm playing it.
No, it's cool.
Well, it's a tag team
throw that out there.
fighting game archetype.
Yes,
too.
that is actually specifically. This seems to be a 3-man tag fighter type thing.
Well, maybe I won't play it then.
It's like an Arxis fighter essentially.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna play it then.
Well, let's explain how it works.
Well, let's read the cards first.
So, our first boy here is Vanquish Soul Raisin. He is a Fire Warrior. 1800 attack, 1500 defense. You can only use each effect once per turn and can't activate them in the same chain. If this card is normal, add a non-warrior Vanquish Soul monster from your deck to your hand, so basically anybody but Raisin for now, because they're all different types. So he is a Stratus effect.
They all kind of do, weirdly enough.
And then, quick effect, you can reveal the appropriate monster in your hand to activate one of these effects. Reveal a fire monster. This card can't be destroyed by card effects this turn. And reveal a fire and dark monster. Destroy all other monsters in this card's column. So, this gives you a couple of variances. The main idea is, remember, this is a quick effect, but remember, you can only use one of those effects. And each activating the quick effect reveal is a once per turn. But still, he's a Stratus with a protection effect, and possibly with like a weird column pop effect if you need him to be.
Weirdly enough, I
will permission to bitch about something.
What you got?
Because I think I disagree with your earlier take. Yeah, no, the worst of the solo modes is the fucking Starry Night.
Oh no, I don't think I said that Dreamier is the worst. I just said it wasn't very fun. Starry Night is not very inspired. I think they only did it because it was a Christmas special. It's the literal only Christmas archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh!
But I wanted to bring this up I really feel like the Column thing is to do with I think about certain fighting games where the stage is a 2D stage, but you can be knocked back and in and out of the stage to different stages, so like each column is a different playing field.
Axe has played too many fighting games. He's going to try and make everything about fighting games. I don't think that we need to think too hard about what these cards do. They do enough. I assume that the reveal is supposed to be like my team attack, to be like, hey, I've got these guys on my team.
Yeah.
So we do like a cool call-in attack or something. Hence why they've got, different type stuff. So our next one is Vanquish Soul versus Panthera. She is a Earth Beast Warrior. 1700 attack, 1900 defense. Only use each of these effects once per turn, not in the same chain. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon this card. Quick effect, reveal the appropriate to activate one of these effects. Earth can't be destroyed by battle this turn. Fire, Earth and Fire, I should say, destroy all spell traps in this card's column. So that one's not as great unless you have your own plussing effects. Vanquish Soul, Heavy Borger. It's Heavy Borger, like, Cyborg, but Borgar. I wonder if that might be changed in localization. Anyway, this one is a Dark Machine, level 7, 2500 attack, 1500 defense. Same thing. You can only use one each effect once per turn and can't activate them in the same chain. During your main phase, quick effect, targeting non-machine Vanquish Soul you have in your control, bounce it to the hand, special summon this card. So he swaps these, literally tags in. Quick effect, reveal a dark monster, draw one, reveal an earth and fire monster, inflict 1500 damage. And then Dr. Madlove is another level 4. If this card is normal or special. Good.
Call me crazy. I'm seeing a giant problem with this archetype.
What?
No, I guess they're all normal and special summon, but
yeah, they're all normal or specialty.
I don't know. I feel like this is gonna run into problems.
Well, what problem are you thinking?
Just drawing the right cards.
Possibly, but I mean, I think seems like they've got a decent enough stuff. Like I said, Raisin searches any of the guys that aren't him.
I've noticed that they want you to basically have another copy of the card in your hand, or at least
not necessarily, because there's two of each attribute.
True. Most of them do
it
want
does
Venom
help
from
if you
Earth,
have
so
dupes,
they probably do
but
want
yeah.
Kaiser always in your hand, honestly, to trigger the other
that probably
effects.
sounds about right, because he is a big boy. He is, important. This is, by the way, versus Dr. Madlove. Dark Fiend, 1200 attack, 2k defense. Again, same stuff. When this is normal or special, add a Vanquish Soul Spell Trap, which is only like one right now that they revealed. I think they might have a slot for another, but not a lot. Actually, no, they have I think they might have a counter spell or counter trap as well. But still, you start with your Spell Trap Searcher, which is good. Quick effect, reveal. If you have one dark, face-up monster opponent controls is 500. Not really great. Dark and Earth, though, is return a face-up monster on the field with the lowest defense. Your choice if tied, so that's decent. Not targeting, by the way. Much like Fissure and Smashing Ground, that's just the monster with the lowest defense is bounced. And then you've got the other fire is Vanquish Soul Pluton HG. It's a fire zombie level 6 that is 0/0.
Necro Ooze.
During your opponent's turn, if you control no monsters in the main monster zone or all monsters you control in the main monsters are Vanquish Souls, you can special summon this card. Quick effect, reveal the appropriate monsters in your effect to activate these. Fire gains 3k defense. Dark and Earth gains 3k attack. So I presume that because you only special summon this on your opponent's turn, you probably would know what position to summon it in based on what else is in your hand.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed it doesn't need other Vanquish Souls. You could technically just have you could do a deck where all you do is make a big EMZ monster, and then you just have your Vanquish Souls as like reactive cards. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, I think this goes into generic Link stuff very well, or even other.
Yeah,
might do some Xyz stuff. Because they do have a Link archetype Link 1 that does. It can't be used as Link material though, so you got to be careful. I think that's why they don't mention the EMZ is because they want you to put the Link 1 there, but there's still some shenanigansing you can do. The other thing is there's going to be a lot of shit that works with this, like they already printed Tenki with this because it searches that one. Like there's going to be some other weird overlays there with like fire cards, Beast Warriors, Warriors. Like if you really need Raisin, you can run Rhoda as your 5th Raisin, shit, stuff like that. I think somebody said Tenyi combos might be good for this.
Yeah. I mean, it looks okay.
Smar World game is on point. That's very funny.
I saw one actually.
I think it's pretty inspired in the sense that it's doing this like, Again, every Yu-Gi-Oh archetype does its own interesting thing. This is built around revealing monsters in your hand and then summoning guys.
Honestly, weirdly enough, I feel like each of the cards represents like a different kind of fighting game because Madlove feels like just is referencing Skullgirls.
I mean, they have, not that I should say this, not that fighting games don't have a fuck ton of different aesthetics internally, but it definitely, like, they're hitting up the fact that, like, fighting games have a lot of different aesthetics. Like, Vanquish Soul Kaiser Various, he looks much more Soul Calibur, for instance.
Yeah, I think they're not referencing necessarily, like, fighting game specifically franchises. I think they're referencing, like,
Just
the
different
types of fighting game, like
Yeah.
like what's his name? I think the first guy is kind of the Arxis tag fighter dude. Second dude is definitely Shoto style Street Fighter, King of Fighter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Borg is like the more
Is it Potemkin?
MVC style. No, it's more MVC.
Oh, okay.
No, the motherfucking Kaiser Various is Tekken.
No, but Potemkin from Guilty Gear.
Oh,
The
no.
big robot man.
I mean,
No,
yes, he's a big
I'm
robot man,
not
but
sure.
other guys have that.
Fair.
Okay, but no, it's I'm
That's fair.
fairly sure it's a reference to more of the like, because you got to think of what's popular in Japan, because
Yeah.
That's
MVC is
fair.
extremely popular in Japan.
By the
Because
way,
That's why
I
don't
do
think
want to throw this out there.
Kaiser Various, as much as we would like to say, it's not a Soul Calibur reference, because Japan do not give a fuck about Soul Calibur.
Fair.
It's a shame because I like Soul Calibur, but yeah, Kaiser Various is an Earth Dragon. This is an archetype, by the way, that will live by Teekboo, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Kaiser Various is your big boy. He's a level 8 Earth Dragon, 3k attack, 1500 defense. You can use first effect, blah blah blah. During your main phase, you can target a non-dragon vanquishing soul monster. I assume that meant Vanquish Soul there. You control, return it to your hand, special summon, so it bounces. Quick effect, reveal. If it's an Earth, this face-up card is unaffected this turn. And then if it's Earth, Fire, and Dark, destroy one other card on the field. I feel like Kaiser Various is weird in that his reveal 1 effect is the best. He can just be, like, unaffected as a quick effect by revealing an Earth. The Fire, Earth, and to just reveal 3 to pop 1 is, like, asking a lot, game.
Honestly, I feel like it's.
But, like, a
because
3k Towers
it's
guy,
non-targeting.
pretty solid.
It's non-targeting, so.
I mean, it's a non-targeting destruction, which is cool. It's just—it's still a pop 1.
Also, it's a quick effect, so you could technically also activate it on your opponent's turn.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
yeah,
pop.
but it's
Yeah,
like I said,
pop
it
one,
requires you to
pop
still have 3
seven.
cards in your hand.
Yeah.
Not
True.
usually how you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Now, admittedly,
I love it.
again, I will say, I think this is very funny. This deck also loves hand traps because it makes your hand traps not dead. In the OCG, what's an Earth? Maxi. What's a Fire? Ash
Yeah,
Blossom.
this deck smacks of to me this deck smacks of Rogue.
Yeah,
think.
I think honestly,
Yeah.
like, the cards on their own aren't that great. They're okay, but fairly limited. They're fairly well balanced. Like, they're restricted to, like, in-column destruction or single pops. The fact that they are designed generically around attributes and, like, they're all different types, I think they will slot in a lot of generic support very well.
Oh,
Yeah, I have a feeling one
I've
of these
just
cards
noticed-
might
Here
one of these cards might become broken in the future, and it's not going to be because of the. It's going to be because it fits into some weird ass deck and accidentally breaks something.
So they do
Probably
have
by searching.
Oh my
they
God,
do have
I
a
now
Link
understand,
one. Go ahead.
Before that, I now understand why Various is a bit lesser on the pop, is because you can do both effects at the same turn, you just can't do the same chain.
No. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. The quick effect is number 2. This is why the OCG labels effects clearly.
Okay, because I thought it was like each once per turn.
No.
She actually designed their cards with same.
Yeah, I don't know why that. I guess it's probably because of the character limit, but seriously, like, the way the OCG does numbered bullet points is so good because it clearly
It's so much-
says
it's so much
you can
just
only
readable.
you can only use the second effect. The second effect is the quick effect. Reveal the appropriate monsters to activate effect, and then
Oh,
the bullet points.
Konami either adopt the OCG's ways of number, or use fucking keywords. What you're doing right now is unacceptable.
So they have a Link monster, a Link 1 Dark Rock Link, Rock of Vanquisher. I don't know if this is supposed to be like the stage or the secret final boss or what, but it's a thing. It requires
the-
1 Vanquished Soul monster.
Or the title screen.
Can't be used as Link material. You can only use the second effect once per turn. 1. While you control a Vanquished Soul monster, your opponent's monsters can only target your monster with the highest attack for attacks, their choice if tied. So, kind of funny because it's attack 0. It's kind of Sun Avalon style, protect itself. During your main phase, you can special summon a Vanquished Soul as a quick effect, or during the main phase, you can quick effect summon a Vanquished Soul from your hand, or add a Vanquished Soul monster from your graveyard to your hand. So I think this is usually what you're using up your EMZ on, because it just gives you a free quick effect summon.
It feels like, weirdly enough,
they have
like
a few spell traps. Okay.
This is a field spell in the form of a link monster.
I think that's kind of what they're going for.
Because it's like, this feels like the title screen, or like
Well, no,
the end screen.
Someone said it in chat. It's the stage.
Yeah, I said that earlier as
yeah.
well. It's the final destination type thing.
God, I hate that.
No items. Fox only. But they do have some spell
only.
traps. They have a few more than I thought.
Smash
as
is not a real fighting game. Sorry.
You're just saying that to piss
We're
off
not gonna
Smash
fight you on
community.
that.
Anyway. You've got Vanquished Soul Dust Devil, which is clearly Raisin's ultimate move.
Super.
It's a quick play. You can activate one of this per turn. Target a Vanquished Soul you control, change its battle position. Then you can change face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position up to the number of Vanquished Soul monsters you control with different names. So it is basically a Book of Eclipse. That's pretty decent.
It doesn't fuck you over, honestly.
No, you switch one of your monster's battle positions. So it only is a problem if you only have just your Link out, because that can't change. But otherwise, you just change, and then you're just like, all right, and your Book of Eclipsed. At the at minimum, it's a Book of Moon. At more, you can hit more, and then you've got obviously Continue, quick play spell, pay 5 of your life points, and either add a Vanquished Soul from your graveyard to your hand or special summon it in defense.
I love that just HD a fucking pile.
Yeah, I mean it's literally the continue screen from arcade mode. You've lost, and he's asking you continue.
Yeah.
Then they have
Pretty sure
their.
it even has.
I was just gonna say they have their first trap card, Vanquished Soul Trinity Burst. Clearly your big team-up attack. You only activate one per name per turn. Target a Vanquished Soul control. Special summon up to 2 Vanquished Soul monsters from your hand with different names from each other and different original attributes, but their effects are negated and return to hand to the end phase. Then you can return all cards in that target and the special summon monsters columns to the hand. All opponents' cards. So this is a normal trap that...
and then you bounce in
boards.
3 columns.
Yeah, you bounce in 3 columns.
That's pretty good.
It is a... Yeah, and hypothetically, you can use this to OTK, because it just negates their effects, but yeah. And then they have their Omni-Negate Vanquished Soul Calamity Kaiser, which is obviously Kaiser's ultimate attack thing. Counter Trap, when your opponent activates a spell trap or monster effect that targets a card you control Vanquished Soul, negate and destroy. Then you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of one Vanquished Soul monster you control.
I'm fairly sure Kaiser is if we're going with the fighting
the
game
boss
analogy
character.
still, he's the arcade mode boss.
Yeah.
He's not a playable character. He's the arcade mode boss.
He's
really
only
imaging-
playable in the home version.
I'm thinking of the God. I can't remember his name, but it's like a Mega something from King of Fighters. He had it recently, and his whole thing is like in that fight, if you jump at all, his aerial axe kicks will just fucking melt you.
But honestly, keeping in mind these guys have a 3K asshole, and they have several quick effect summons. This is a pretty good archetype Omni-Negate.
It will destroy Red Eyes. I'm sorry, man.
Well, we won't destroy Red Eyes. Their thing is they've got their burn card is searchable. Though I know Red Eyes burn is also searchable. No, what I'm saying is though that remember you have large boys. You have 3K attackers and like 25, so that's not an inconsequential amount of kick to the teeth. And they're also reprinting Fire Formation Tenki because you have a Beast Warrior. So yeah, like I said, I don't think Vanquished Soul will be. Again, as usual with deck build packs, one of them will be meta. It's Transcend Drake. Nouvelle Nouvelle and Vanquished Souls are both definitely rogue. They're fun. I've done some Nouvelle test builds. Being able to tribute your opponent's board when they do anything, very funny.
Nouvelle to me reads more. I don't think it's necessarily a fun deck. It might be fun, but to me, Nouvelle reads anti-meta more than any.
Yeah, it's gonna heavily depend on what the meta is. I think it is funny to play. I've had there's some cheeky lines in it, but it's also for now very linear.
It's definitely, if the meta's right, that could be very good. If the meta's wrong, that could be useless.
Yeah, the classic anti-meta pick. And Vanquished Souls feels. I mean, the beautiful thing about Vanquished Souls is the way they've written this archetype. This is an archetype they can basically expand forever. Whenever they want to grow the fighting game roster, they can just make up new cards.
They can also make new Link 1s at different stages.
Yeah, they could do that if they want to do that as a theme. That's also very funny. They don't actually have a field spell.
Yeah.
Konami, please, Vanquished Soul stage select.
Where you may...
I don't know what it does, but it's funny.
They could do the fucking, what was the name of it? What's the name of the Formula Racer, of the Formula Racer archetype? Like, FA?
Oh, FA, yeah, where they switch back and forth.
They could do like FA style stage shit.
Stage select sounds more like the continuous spell that switches out their field spell for one that they want.
And maybe an edit effect or something, depending on it.
Well, it depends on what we got here. But yeah, so that's Vanquished Soul. Much better looking than these, than the Rex Raptor cards. King of the
Those
Vanquished Soul
cards
Arena.
I almost feel like those cards are so bad they're not. You ever? I hope that's a mistranslation, because otherwise those are like those are MTG pack filler bad.
I mean, I think that's what they are. It's remember, it's 25th anniversary year, so they're trying to come back with nostalgia, but compared to the shit they did for like Stardust and other shit, it's not really that great. We'll see. I don't know. Duelist Nexus might have some other cards, but this is actually a thing that MBT has talked about that I think is interesting. I don't know if there's like an agree or disagree to it, but because of the way Yu-Gi-Oh is, right? Because there is no set rotation, and that's one of its key factors. They don't really get to do pack filler the way that Wizards does. Because you can't just reprint lands or reprint the same cards over and over again. Every card has to be new-ish, or if it's a reprint, it has to be a reprint for a reason. Like, preferably it is a reprint that does something with this set. And obviously, there are sometimes they do, like, weird reprints or rarity bumps even in core sets that, like, aren't important. They're just cool. But for the most part, when you see, like, reprints in core sets, they're like a collector's rare or something, or they're important to archetypes that are coming out. So, yeah, those Rex Raptor cards, those could just be so that we have some commons in this set, Somebody's got to do them.
Feels like.
I don't think they're, like, trash. I think they're just not good.
Oh, they're trash.
Some of them are trash. I think the spell cards are tangentially playable.
The only one that isn't trash isn't a Rex Raptor card.
Just like Rex, somebody has to job. It's true. He had a terrible track record.
Yeah, no. And wasn't he like the world champion runner-up or something?
Yeah, against.
No. I don't think that was a world championship. That was Japanese nationals. He was a national runner-up tournament.
He was the winner of the OCG.
Still,
but he was still a good enough duelist to be invited to Duelist Kingdom, which was a world championship battle royale tournament.
And then he got jobbed out by Esper.
That doesn't know how to play.
Rex Raptor jobbed out a lot. He lost to Weevil and Zector Haga in the actual nationals, in the finals. He lost to Mai on the boat, which admittedly Mai is a card shark. She is a cheater, but still, Rex Raptor doesn't give you the impression that it was hard to beat him.
But once again, he lost to a high schooler that doesn't know how to play the
Yes, he
game.
lost to Joey Wheeler's amazing ability to roll dice, flip coins.
Then he lost to Joey again in the filler season.
Also, I gotta be honest, just for my own personal preference, I'm very disappointed they decided to do Twin-Headed King Rex retrains and not Serpent Night Dragon retrains. That would be funny, especially because Serpent Night Dragon was actually meta in Speed Duels. Like, I think there's some legacy there we could work with. You did the same thing for, Seiryu, Holy Night Dragon. You could do something with Serpent Night Dragon.
Yeah. You could actually make a whole lineup of Serpent Night Dragons, like Serpent Night, like Dragoons and Cavalry.
Plus, it was, I think, Rex's, like, other ace card for...
Yeah, it was his, like, super hidden rare
Yeah,
card.
that was his double secret rare card before Red Eyes.
Before Red Eyes, because his Red Eyes was first one that Joey took that.
Yes.
For the anti-rules.
And then, obviously, he, they played an anti-rule because he wanted to seal the Time Wizard. Because he was like, the Time Wizard can beat Mai. Yes, blowing up your opponent's board on a successful coin flip can beat Mai. But, correct. And then also the other thing, I think Marth mentioned this earlier. I believe in Battle City he didn't he job to Esperoba.
Esperoba, the Jinzo player.
He wasn't even
I mean,
on
listen,
screen.
Who also cheats.
Listen, Jinza.
Lost
At
off
least
screen.
Weevil was on screen as a character in Battle City. Rex didn't even get a duel.
Not on camera. Weevil had an iconic duel with Joey. That was the fucking Parasite and Gearfried,
Yeah.
which was a
Like,
gross
as much
ass
as
duel.
he did lose a lot, at least they treated Weevil as kind of a threat.
Right up until the filler seasons, yes. Then he become. You got to remember, Weevil is where we get draw monster card.
But even then, he was at least considered a villain. Rex didn't even duel again, and he was there.
That's true. I think he did. Yeah, Weevil threw Exodia overboard. He's a real villain.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, Rex
I also
ain't
think
so
that technically the like they did different support for like fucking Insect Queen and Moth that are better. I think. Not in a lot of time. That's funny
Yeah,
enough. Great Moth was
Moth
also a perfect ultimate. Great Moth was also meta in speed duels. It's very funny. Anyway, that's Vanquished Soul. I haven't been looking at chat like this whole time because I've had Discord pulled up because Loth won't shut the fuck up.
I think it was an eventful stream. I think we want to throw
Chat
out.
hasn't said anything
They
else.
talked about stuff.
I'm trying to read back the chat log.
Oh,
But yeah, so we've gotten 3.5 hours and stuff. Some stuff. So that'll be it for the stream. To let you guys know what we're doing, we have a Patreon poll. Let me see exact archetypes. We had some keeps. Dallas kept Gimmick Puppet. Axe kept Spiral. Patreon is
Listen,
loading.
there's a lot of like. I think Spiral.
Marth picked Heroic, and Loth was like, "Fuck it, Sprite."
Oh,
Uh,
Sprite's definitely winning.
No, you're wrong. Because I once again submitted Red Eyes, which is in the lead with 5 votes.
Ha.
Oh god, we're gonna be here all night.
What's
Mega's
it
gonna be a little bit
Not
happy.
really. I don't.
Like, I guess. I mean,
There are a
there's also-
decent number of Red Eyes cards, but a lot of them
Omega,
are a lot
you-
faster to go through.
Just do all the adjacent ones, but hey, fair enough.
Once again,
I guess we'll just
we
talk
did
about how they're just
DDD.
not good enough, sadly.
We did
Well, I
DDD.
mean, I'm gonna have a bad
We-
time if you will be unable to shut the fuck up about how they're not good cards,
All right, Red
as you
Eye
continue to
itself
regurgitate
has,
the
like,
points over and over
80
I'm
again.
gonna.
card arts. Are
Omega,
cool.
the only thing I will bitch about, and it's something we've bitched about together, so I think it's fair game, is the inconsistent and inconceivable.
Oh yeah, no.
design
If we want to talk
Yeah,
about like as
exactly.
we read card descriptions, if we want to be like, yeah, so Konami thought Red Eyes needed this.
So
Will
yeah, it's like,
that
pick
will
a-
probably give us some time because
it's like,
there is
why are we?
there's like
why are we-
4 different lines in Red Eyes, none of
Hey.
which go together.
Hey, Mega, can you
40 Red Eyes cards. Jeez.
Can you like
Pick a
shove in
theme.
supervise in there as like the official Red Eyes
No.
field spell? Okay, no.
Well, you mean Catalyst Field, not Supervise. Supervise is
Catalyst
the equip
Field, sorry.
card.
Sorry.
But
Catalyst
also, I
Also,
mean, no.
Catalyst
I
Field
think
has
we,
an archetype.
didn't we talk
Yeah.
about Chem Critters actually?
No,
If we didn't, somebody should consider throwing it in
on
the
our
chart.
list of like as the Rada special of 3 things.
Oh, right, because Rada did do that as part of a triangle. Well, maybe I'll do that for like a special. Do we know when our 1-year anniversary is for Fail Portrayal? Well, it won't be a 1 year,
I
but
think we
2 year
passed it.
technically. But does anybody know when our anniversary date? When did we start Fail Portrayals?
I think it was in the winter.
Because that could be a funny time. Are we doing 2
I'm
years for
gonna
this?
check it
fucking
right now.
sucks. Well, what are they gonna? I mean, they've already done stuff for Stardust. Those cards are already announced for Duelist Nexus. They're combining. I think they combined Quasar and what's the other title for the big Stardust 12 fucker?
Blazer.
Cosmic Blazer.
Yeah, so I think it's
Or
Quasar
Cosmo
Blazer or something.
Sorry. Quasar Blazer.
It's something like that.
Okay.
They basically combined the 2 names for the previous 2
Our
big.
first one was Anime Elemental Heroes, Cleanerios, and its fusions. So
Yes,
that's a while back.
What date was that?
I'll check it.
That's what I'm getting at. Wow, Loth's just going full chaos mode. He says, next month I will put Eldritch up.
I mean, that's like, let's see, there's only like 12 cards, 10.
No,
Well,
it's
we
like
have to
5
talk about the
cards.
traps that are also monsters. So there's a
I
decent
mean, I know
number
that's what I
of
was
them.
saying. I was like 12 because there's like those
there's,
dramatic.
no, there's like 5 cards that are. If we're only doing the monster traps, there's like 5 cards.
There's
think
probably
for-
some other
there's-
cards to mention.
Yeah,
At least
'cause
show
there's
the art of, I
Eldritch,
guess.
the Eldritch Fusion,
Okay,
and
that
then
was
the 3 trap monsters.
that was on April 21st, 2021.
Okay, so April. All right, maybe we'll do the Rada special in April then. I doubt we'll get. It won't be the 21st again because that's not how dates work.
I've not thought
but
that we've done this for over a year and a half.
it was a long time. Yeah, there's at least there's an Eldritch alt art.
Do you remember who came up with the name of this? I can't remember who came up
We
with
were
it.
trying to figure out ways that rhyme, so I think, like, Failed
you,
Betrayal was-
Dallas, had the actual literal failed
Was it?
betrayal rhyme because I was bouncing around a couple,
Okay.
and I think you said something to that effect.
I could believe it.
There
or
were a
not,
couple
I
of
don't know.
iterations. But yeah, so now don't be discouraged by the way that Red Eyes has 5 votes. There are only 8 votes total. There's a lot of people who can still vote, and you can vote by joining us on. We all workshop, so I think Dallas actually said the words "fail betrayal" or typed them probably, but there was a lot of workshopping.
I know we.
No,
we
I think that
tried.
was back when I had all the free time, because that would have been before I started my master's program.
So, if you support us at the $5 and higher levels on Patreon, you can access the poll and vote. And while Red Eyes does have a very commanding lead, it can change. If you want it to change, or don't leave it. I'll do Red Eyes.
Puppet win.
Will they be
Dallas
interesting?
says make a gimmick puppet win. I mean, that is a good fail betrayal. Why do people not use the Eldritch Fusion? Because he's not a floodgate.
I do.
Because he's not
I
easy
actually
to
play the Eldritch deck.
Oh, you actually play an Eldritch deck. You don't play a Floodlight. You don't play
I mean,
a
I
Floodgate
do.
deck.
I do think that some variants have him in the extra deck just in case. It's just he doesn't always come out, you know?
No.
But in general, the reason why he doesn't come out is because he is not a floodgate.
Yeah. The reason
And
why he doesn't
also-
come out in Master Duel.
Guys, because you haven't noticed, regular Eldritch fucks. He is a big man. Like, he does all the shit you need. We really didn't need an extra deck Eldritch. The main deck one is a fucker.
He ignores skill drain too.
Well, no, he sends your skill drain to the graveyard to summon himself. Though I do believe he
play Eldritch on Master Duel that play Stun Eldritch suck.
yes, and that's why Master Duel needs more aggressive ban lists against floodgates. But anyway,
I would agree.
how long would we yell about if heroics do win? How long would you yell about the funny Lance guy? I don't know. It'd be a decent amount.
Oh, Rungo Boingo.
Yeah, that's a heroic.
I mean,
He'd
there's
be
a-
in there.
There's a lot of other ones that we're
18
talking about. honestly.
monsters only, but yeah.
There's quite a few things to talk about. Rongo Miniad would be the one to mention because he was actually like the meta guy. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up. We've been here a while. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. It's after midnight. I appreciate your support. Make sure to come back tomorrow for more Final Fantasy 14s and other stuff. Keep your eye on that dial. Go back and check out stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay.